Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs with the flexibility to rent for minutes or months.
It's the reason Marconi invented radio and God gave you ears.
And he scored, it's a brilliant goal!
The UEFA Europa League final
Live on Talksport.
Manchester United 0, Tottenham 3. Dominic Solanke is continuing his excellent recent form. Again, it's poor defending from United. It's aimed it towards the far corner. It's gone straight in from the corner. Oh, Son! What a goal! Altay Biandir completely misjudged it.
Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. James Maddison on his return to the Spurs starting 11 has given them the lead against Manchester United. Oh, how they needed that goal.
You're listening to the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, making a big move or planning a clear out with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. Volunteers have just laid the Europa League hexagonal crest down over the centre circle as we are getting ready for the players to come out and do battle in this Europa League final live on Talksport as Man United take on Spurs. 10 minutes to kick off. 3 times these two have met this season. 3 times Spurs have won. Man United 0, Spurs 3, end of September. Van der Ven ran 2/3 length of the pitch to set up Brennan Johnson for the first. Bruno Fernandes sent off for a foul on Maddison. Kulusevski and Solanke finished the job off. Spurs 4, United 3 in the Carabao Cup in December was wild. Solanke got 2, Son scored from a corner. Fraser Forster confirmed he's a goalkeeper, not a footballer. Spurs 1, United 0 in February. Maddison with a tap in for the winner, followed by the darts celebration. But Dean Ashton, 3 times they've met, 3 times Spurs have beaten Manchester United. Does that mean anything tonight?
If this was a regular Premier League game, I would say yes, but it can't. It's too big. The magnitude of it, the thought that you're about to play in a game that can change the rest of your life and how people look at you and the record that you're going to leave this game with. You know, you feel all of that as a player. That weight of expectation is on you, so it has to be different. And you'll build into it. You go into a deeper focus than you've ever done before in any regular game, from when you've left the hotel to getting here, to going through your routine that every single player has, and it's so regimented, and it has to be the same for you to feel right. They'll have gone through all of that leading up to the game, and you won't have a second thought about what's gone before against the opposition. But ultimately, I think tactically, and just been able to get it right against this Manchester United team, and surely that tactically that has to have an advantage.
Well, this is where he needs to get it right, where Ruben Amorim needs to get it right. I do remember that second meeting in the Carabao Cup at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That was about 5 or 6 weeks into Amorim's reign, and as the Spurs goals were going in, he was on his knees at one point. He was staring at the ground for a prolonged period at one point, and you realised that he was starting to realise, oh, this job is way bigger than I realised.
Absolutely. And I think he's almost accepted that his team are going to be horrible to watch for him at times. He's accepted it. I've seen him on the sidelines. I've seen him in interviews talking about that acceptance of how bad they are. Whether that's too honest or not, he's accepted it. He's kind of ran with it, and he finds himself here already with a chance to win silverware for Manchester United and to gain Champions League football. He probably almost doesn't know how when he's watched the team at times, but they have, and he has to take credit for that, and he'll want to get it right tonight, of course.
It is such a weird one, isn't it? And it's been maybe the theme of Manchester United since Sir Alex Ferguson. By the way, Fergie is here tonight. Saw him much earlier pitch side with the United goalkeeper coach, just having a little chat, waving to a few people who'd already come in early. Sir Alex Ferguson is here in Bilbao this evening. But it's a theme, isn't it, that managers, they actually keep winning trophies at Manchester United, but it's just not good enough. The weird thing about Amorim is, you're right, he's kind of admitted, we're actually rubbish. This is the worst team for years. And it's on his watch. It's like he's saying, I'm no good. What he's doing is, after that, he's saying, well, hang on a minute. The board and the owners know that I want to play a certain way, and it's going to take time for that to come good. And he feels like he's not under pressure because the board have accepted what he said to them on appointment.
I think his inner confidence, I think his self-worth is absolutely ginormous. That comes across so strongly to me when I hear him speak. He will not budge. He feels he knows what's right, and he will get there if he's given the opportunity and the funds and possibly Champions League football to attract the players that he wants. But right now, he needs, and I'm sure he is, I'm sure he's parked that thought, and he's been very strong with it, but he's got to find a way to win this match with the team and the system that he's got.
He has. As for Ange Postecoglou, he's come out with this statement long ago that he always wins things in his second season, and here he is with a chance to prove himself right. But the belief is that he will be going even if they win this trophy tonight. I personally don't see that. I mean, is that going to happen?
I think it might well do, depending whether they win or lose. But ultimately, he's another manager that has stuck by his principles, spoken about changing the mentality of Tottenham as a football club and winning trophies, and that being his remit. He spoke openly about that yesterday in the press conference, and he's got that opportunity almost to turn around and say, well, I did exactly what you wanted, take me or leave me, and then they'll have a decision to make. But I've seen a slight bend in the way his team has played in the last 2 months, especially in this competition, and I think it might just help them tonight.
I think you could argue that if Spurs were to win and to get into the Champions League, then some in the Spurs hierarchy might think it's even more urgent that they get rid of him, because they would look at the fact that they've lost 25 games over the course of the season and say that's not good enough. If we're going to be in a Champions League campaign, the games are coming thick and fast again next season, where we might have another 55, 58 games over the course of the campaign, then Ange isn't our man. So I think he's out whatever happens.
And is that best all-round, Dean? Because Spurs move on and get somebody else to deal with trying to challenge again and being in the Champions League again. And Ange Postecoglou goes off elsewhere and says, well, look what I did at Spurs.
No, you stick with a man that stuck his neck out on the line to say, I can win things in my second season, and I always do, and I've gone and delivered it for you. You don't want somebody that's that confident in themselves and then can back it up and take his team to victory by any means. And I think that's the type of man that I would want at my football club.
Champions with South Melbourne, champions with Brisbane Roar, champions with Yokohama, domestic treble with Celtic, all in his second season. Nothing with Melbourne victory. So we'll find out what happens with Spurs.
Well, we will see. And in terms of players as well, they're all waiting to come out, lined up in the tunnel. Just very quickly, a lot of the talk is about those creative players for Spurs being out injured tonight. One player who's been out injured and has come back from Manchester United is Mason Mount, who's been brilliant last couple of weeks. Can't really argue.
No, the talent's always been there. He's an incredible worker in terms of what he gives you out of possession, and I think that's a real bonus for Manchester United right now. And he's got the quality, and I bet he's so hungry. He's been famished for so long at Manchester United of an opportunity, and this is his.
Well, the mosaic among the Spurs fans away to our right in the bottom tier is there. There is to do as the players walk out past the Europa League trophy, which is on the plinth right in front of them on the touchline. Talksport taking you across Europe, taking you around the world with our award-winning live football coverage, with our stellar cast of pundits and commentators whose passion for the game of football is as strong as yours. Live football is what we do, and we do it best on Talksport. This beautiful stadium is the home of Athletic Bilbao, a club that values its traditions, its history, its soul and its people much more than success and titles. And so it's ironic that tonight this place hosts two teams that are all about winning a trophy. It's the Europa League final, live from Bilbao on Talksport. Here's your commentary team of former England striker Dean Ashton, alongside Jim Proudfoot,
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you from the magnificent San Mamés, colonised by the English for the night to witness the 6th All-English European final. Spurs and Manchester United have been meeting since back in 1899, but from Bank Street to Bilbao, no single instalment has ever had as much riding on it as this. Two clubs united in their desperate need to salvage a woeful campaign, separated by just a place and a point in a league table that makes hideous viewing, each heading for their worst finish since they went down in the 70s, yet 90 minutes away from a European trophy and more. Tonight the silverware isn't the only prize on offer. In what's become European football's equivalent of the Championship playoff final, but with a meaningful trophy at the end of it. The passport out of the European wilderness and back to the top table of continental competition could have far-reaching effects, shaping transfer strategy with the inevitable ramifications of the standard of play you attract to the club, which in turn has a knock-on effect on the next league campaign and beyond. So this isn't just a high-profile 90 minutes. How can it be? This is two clubs at a crossroads in their medium-term future, with a side dish of potential individual collateral damage. Spurs line up with Vicario in goal. Porro, Romero, Van de Ven and Udogie are back 4 that have won 7 of their 13 games together this season. Bissouma, Bentancur and Sarr in midfield. Johnson, Solanke and Richarlison up front. Manchester United, their red shirts and black shorts, Onana in goal, Yoro, Maguire and Shaw. Mazraoui, Casemiro, Fernandes and Dorgu, Ahmad and Mount, and Højlund. And on the benches for United, Lindelof, Zirkzee, Eriksen, Garnacho, Dalot, Ugarte, Heaven, Evans, Mainu, Amas, Collier and Altay. And for Tottenham, Danso, Son, Tell, Gray, Spence, Odegaard, Davis and Scarlett, Moore and Ajayi, Austin and Whiteman. Well, the Spurs players in a huddle, most of them oblivious to the fact that after the captains got together and the coin was tossed, the two sides are switching round. So Spurs are going to be attacking the end of the ground that houses the Spurs fans within this first 45 minutes. The United players now go into a huddle of their own in front of us, and as they do, the Spurs players who initially were going to break and go back into their half are now coming back into the half that United are defending to draw applause from their supporters away to our right-hand side. It's a fascinating encounter, Dean Ashton. Imagine having some skin in the game.
Unbelievable pressure is what it is for both sides. But forget qualifying for the Champions League. Forget about your manager's future. Forget about the terrible Premier League campaign. Tonight is about grasping an opportunity that you dreamt of as a kid. The chance to add to the club's history and let your lips plant a massive kiss on the cold silver trophy. Just go and take it.
For one, anaesthetising victory to soothe the pain. For the other, the ultimate ignominy to set the seal on their annus horribilis. One team, despite themselves, despite their season, are going to win the Europa League. Spurs and Manchester United in northern Spain. But who will be able to bask in the glory? We're underway. Spurs kicking from left to right. White shirts with a dark blue trim. Long ball launched forward, picked up by Ahmad. Bruno Fernandes works it back to him, and it's a confident back heel flick from him. That's then laid back to Harry Maguire, to Luke Shaw on the edge of his own penalty area. Dorgu getting it forward, Spurs trying to win it back, and it's worked forward towards Mason Mount. But Højlund has come back from an offside position to give a free kick to Spurs on halfway. 0-0 here on Talksport through the opening 40 seconds in Bilbao.
Well, isn't it refreshing already to see Amad Diallo with that back heel flick, just wanting to relax and express his talent. And already we can see Bruno Fernandes playing a little bit higher. Casemiro very much on his own in that central midfield role with plenty of space all around him.
There's Van der Ven working in back of Vicario, who's in all yellow tonight. Out of the right-hand side of the penalty area to Romero, and now to Porro, whose ball forward is defended by Dorgu. Manchester United wing-backs very high, as always. Dorgu blocking that and putting it out of play for a throw on the Tottenham right-hand side. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And the atmosphere to die for. Casemiro heads the ball forward. Dorgu back to halfway. Maguire with the chest trap. Shaw will hook it forward with his left foot, but Bentancur brings it down in the midfield. And now Basuma can work it forward, trying to release Johnson down the Tottenham right. Shaw had enough of a head start and defended it well. He looked as though played it off Johnson and out of play for a goal kick. But the corner has been given.
Yeah, I thought he did. I thought he was just clever enough there, Shaw, to wait for Johnson to get close and then play it against him, and it did. Just skimmed off the shin pad, and out for what should have been a goal kick.
Well, in Tottenham's opening couple of minutes of their last European final, they got a decision against them, that handball that still grieves them now. They get the rub of the green with that one. They've had the rub of the green with a very early decision here. Can they make the most of it? Pedro Porro sending the corner in, and immediately the referee has given a free kick Manchester United's way. A push by Van der Ven on Maguire, which smacks of somebody having told the officials that they actually got the first decision wrong and it should have been a goal kick.
It's laughable, isn't it? Oh, there was plenty of holding, of course there was, but Felix Svaya couldn't wait to blow his whistle, and we restart once again.
So United with a free kick. Romero climbing all over the top. Højlund has fouled him, and it's going to be a free kick that United will take 15 yards outside the Spurs penalty area, left of centre. 3-0 the Spurs when they won at United back in September. 1-0 victory in the return game in February with James Maddison scoring the winner, and then that crazy League Cup quarter-final back in December. That Spurs won by the odd goal in 7. Tottenham aiming for their first European trophy in 41 years, their first honour in 17. Manchester United, the only unbeaten side in the Europa League this season. Maguire getting on the end of the ball that was driven in by Shaw, then took a little flick in front of Lenny Yoro and goes out of play for a corner. It was a real miscue from one of the Spurs defenders, and Vicario wasn't able to quite keep it in. Out of play for a corner.
Well, as you would expect, Harry Maguire being a threat from the first set play, winning the header against Romero, nodding it down towards the 6-yard line, and Udogie has just taken a wild swipe at it and skimmed it behind.
So a corner that Bruno Fernandes is going to take. Shaw waiting on the edge of the penalty area. Maguire trying to get free from Porro. Ball comes in, half cleared, just past Maguire. Shaw can mop that up. He's laid it back for Mazraoui, who takes the touch and then chips it out towards the right-hand touchline. Header back past Richarlison. Oh, out comes Vicario. He's got himself stranded in no man's land. Now he's back. United getting a shot in, which deflects away. And Spurs are going to be able to clear with Johnson. The opening 5 minutes. Misjudgment there by Vicario. A miscue from Udogie. Just betraying a few nerves in that Tottenham back line here on Talksport.
Well, it's absolutely expected. You feel it as a player, the atmosphere within the San Mamés was incredible at kick-off, and it does affect you. You've just got to try and settle those down and hope that those mistakes don't cost you, which very nearly did. Fernandes' shot canning off the back of Mason Mount.
United win a throw, which Patrick Dorgu takes quickly. A January signing from Bologna, laying the ball back for Luke Shaw. Back out to Dorgu again. Dorgu playing it forward, given away though to Bentancur. Spurs getting a touch of the ball, but unable to string 3 or 4 passes together at the moment. United are able to do that, and Casemiro buys a free kick here from Basuma. Casemiro, who once scored in a Champions League final, he's won 4 of them It certainly will be a calming influence in the heart of that midfield for Manchester United. Did score here 3 weeks ago. I think that familiarity with these surroundings is going to be very helpful for Manchester United as well, on the basis that this was a ground where they had great success with that stunning victory here. 3-0 at the San Mamés against Athletic just 20 days ago. Back here for more tonight. Shaw laying the ball back for Onana, whose clearance came closer than he would have liked to have hitting Solanke. Second ball won in the midfield by Spurs. Casemiro with a strong challenge on his countryman Richarlison, who's then trying to get back goal side of Mazraoui. Mazraoui can play it out to the Manchester United right, where the doggies there to tap it away and stick it out of play for a throw. 7 minutes have raced by here on Talksport. It's still 0-0 in the 2025 Europa League final.
Well, it started with Premier League tempo, hasn't it? The game. It's not been nervy or cagey to start with. The slow tempo, both teams pressing each other, especially in the middle of the pitch. Absolutely not a millisecond to think.
And Rasmus Højlund's just lost his left boot for a moment. It's going to be a Manchester United throw to restart play. You're listening to Spurs against Manchester United in the Europa League final, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move, all planning a clear out. Well, with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, they've got a van. Maguire finding Lenny Yoro. 8 gone, 0-0. It's round back for Yoro, and then back for Maguire again. He scored that stunning winner against Lyon. Not the first very late dramatic goal that he scored in this European run, although more important than the stoppage time equaliser that he scored at Porto back in the early stages of the group is Onana taking a touch deep inside his 6-yard box, works it out towards Shaw, whose clearance hits Johnson, then back off Shaw and out of play for a throw. It'll be taken by Pedro Porro, level with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area. Little surprised that United are dominating possession, the way that Spurs were setting up the three they named in midfield. We anticipated that that would be the case. Spurs fans behind the goal that their team are attacking, to a man and woman on their feet. Nearly all of them dressed in white. Fine side away to the right. Here's Porro trying to deliver. Right-footed ball. Oh, Onana came out to meet it, got nowhere near it. Richarlison coming in, just saw it headed away from him by Mazraoui, and out of play for a corner.
Well, it was a vicious delivery from Pedro Porro. Really whipped through the back of the ball to get the bend away from Onana, and he has a massive thank you to say to Mazraoui, who was on the cover as Richarlison was about to just nod in to the empty net. Really good defensive work there from Mazraoui.
Porro goes across to take the corner. Tottenham second, 0-0, 9 gone. First corner that came in for Spurs immediately was followed by a blow of the referee's whistle for some pushing and shoving going on. Felix Vaar keeping a close eye on everything that's happening inside the 6-yard box. In it comes, swung in and punched away by Onana. Headed down then by Johnson. Basuma will play it back out to Pedro Porro on the Tottenham left, but his ball in was comfortably headed away by Mason Mount. And brought down firstly in the midfield by Bentancur, and then a doggy. It looked as though he might just have tripped over his own feet for a moment. The referees decided that was in part due to a little shove from Ahmad, and it's another Spurs free kick on halfway. Here's Dean Ashton.
Well, that was good goalkeeping from Onana, because again the delivery from Porro was excellent. So many bodies in front of him. Richarlison just trying to flash in front, and he made sure he kept his eye on it and punched it away.
The doggy for Richarlison, back for Mickey van der Ven. Van der Ven to Romero. We were talking before the game started how marked the difference is in Spurs form when those two start together and when they don't. The expected goals against almost doubles when they're not starting together. Here's Maguire, he's lost out. Johnson clipping it in, taking a touch. Sarr volleys one in. Onana with another strong right hand. Sarr's effort blocked. And he goes out towards the far touchline. Richarlison was waiting for the ball, and one of the United defenders has climbed just straight over the top of it. Mazraoui is down. He's hurt himself in making that challenge. There's going to be a free kick to Spurs. They've had a good 3-4 minutes here.
Yeah, they have, but it was a mistake from Harry Maguire. Instead of just playing that out of play under pressure from Solanke, because that's what Solanke does. You think you've got time, and then he pressurises you. You just tried to clip it towards Shaw. Johnson was nice and alert, nipped in, got down to the byline, flashed it across, and Arna needed to be there.
So another Tottenham set piece. Ahmad is a one-man wall and takes station, protecting the near post area to stop Porro trying to beat Onana at his near post. Van der Ven is on the edge of the 6-yard box. Romero's in there as well. In comes the delivery, right footed. It's travelled a long way. United able to half get it clear and falls Richarlison's way. Hits Dorgu. Goes out of play for another corner. We're 12 minutes in. But it's Spurs asking all the early questions here in Bilbao.
Oh, that was a slicing delivery again from Porro with the pace on it. Bentancur looked to flick. It hit Richarlison on the thigh. But he was so bright, he didn't give it up. He just waited for it to become loose and then got onto it. Lovely bit of footwork to get it into position, but Bruno Fernandes was there to block, luckily.
Spurs preparing to take corner number 3 from the left flank, but before they can do so, referee Zvir has made his way forward and is having a word with Sarr, who's standing right on Onana's toes. Zvir keeping a close eye on everything that's going on as the delivery comes in, hits the head of Maguire. Dorgu just stumbled on the edge of the penalty area and couldn't then get a second clearance to the ball, but he was caught. Brennan Johnson's given a free kick away, which will just let Manchester United off the hook. They can draw a big breath. Because over the last 5-6 minutes or so, they've hardly been able to get a decent touch of the ball and work it into Tottenham territory. And Spurs not quite had Manchester United on the ropes, but that string of set pieces has asked them some significant questions.
Yeah, it has done. They haven't been able to get the ball into Ahmad Mount or Rasmus Højlund so far in the game. Tottenham have been able to build, and that pressure that Solanke, Papsar, Johnson and Richarlison have been able to put on Manchester United playing out has gained them a couple of opportunities.
Arna's long ball forward from the free kick. And headed over the left shoulder of Dorgu, who's done well. He's got the better of Porro, goes down inside the penalty area. Referee Zvir on the scene immediately waves a hand across his body and says no foul. United get it back deeper, with Casemiro laying it back for Maguire. Crossfield ball from him, well executed out towards Mazraoui. Mazraoui laying it back for Lenny Yoro. Yoro deeper still for Maguire in his bright orange boots. Down towards Luke Shaw, who played in the finals of both Euro 21 and Euro 24. Fernandes under pressure from Bissouma, and Yoro's won it back. Yoro getting it forward. United trying to break quickly, work it out towards Patrick Dorgu on the Manchester United left hand side. It's cross blocked by Porro, and it goes out for a United throw.
I mean, they did well in the end, Manchester United, to get through. They took a couple of chances, especially Casemiro, in the way Tottenham are pressing.
Dorgu again chasing, he's done well, hooks his foot round that and wins a corner for it. Romero couldn't take any chances with who was coming in from behind him and taps it away.
Well, that is a weak spot, isn't it? And it has been for Tottenham. Pedro Porro, when he's looking to get forwards, just that space in behind him, and Dorgu stretching to play it across. And he might ask Højlund, why were you not anticipating? Why were you not trying to get ahead of Romero there? Just stuck on his heels there, Højlund.
Barnstorming start to the game here in Bilbao. No tense, tepid affair this. Two sides sensing the potential weaknesses of the opposition and going for the throw. Manchester United's second corner. Swung in from the left-hand side. Out comes the goalkeeper, has knocked it away. Headed down, brought down by Ahmad. Right-footed through the 6-yard box. And it's blocked.
I mean, Maguire just lays it off. Ahmad goes to strike it with his right foot and just fakes, takes it a little bit further along towards the 6-yard line, and then just smashes it across with his right foot. Not looking to pick anybody out, just hoping that somebody's there just to nod it in. But he was too quick for anyone to react and just flashes wide.
So 0-0, 16 minutes gone here on Talksport. And the ball spotted down by Vicario. Preparing to get it upfield. Long right-footed clearance out towards the far touchline, which will bounce once and then headed on by Richarlison. Brought down again over on that Spurs right-hand side, but they've lost it, and Ahmad can bring it forward. Good covering challenge from Bissouma as well to win it back. And it goes out of play ultimately for what's been given as a Spurs throw, although judging by the reaction of the Manchester United fans over on that far touchline, were really well placed. It possibly wasn't. The throw that they will take in their left-back position. United coming into this on the back of 60 feats in 8 Premier League games. Spurs without a win in 6 Premier League games themselves, of which they've lost 5. Only won 5 of the last 25. They have been reserving their best performances for the matches in this competition. Charlison coming forward again. A right-footed ball in from him. Knocked away by Maguire after an initial good defending from Shaw. And it goes out of play for a throw on the Spurs left.
Yeah, that's a couple of times now when Spurs have got it wide. They've looked to play the ball in quickly and get runners, Papsar in particular, up alongside Solanke. Shaw excellent there to spot the gap, spot the danger, come across and make a really good challenge.
Spurs fans in good voice. Their side attacking that end of the ground away to our right-hand side where the Tottenham hordes are housed. Can't make any ground down that left this time. And it goes out of play for a throw on the Manchester United right, which will be taken by Moussa Mazraoui. Premier League season ending this weekend, of course. We've got it all covered for you here on the Talksport network. Every game that matters right here. Manchester United in action at home to Aston Villa. That's our live game here on Talksport. Talksport 2 will see Newcastle's game with Everton, also with real relevance for the Champions League positions. And Manchester City go to Fulham. That's on Talk Radio. All of those games coming up for you this Sunday, 4 o'clock. The entire card kicks off. 0-0 tonight here at the San Mamés, with the ball in the Manchester United penalty area, but in the hands of Onana, who will then bowl it out towards the right-hand side to try and get them going again with Mazraoui. 0-0.
I mean, we're definitely seeing a different side to this Tottenham team.
They've lost possession here, and Ahmad can bring it forward. There's it back for Fernandes. Fernandes taking touch, controlling it, plays it 30 yards back behind square to Harry Maguire. Now down towards Dorgu. Dorgu finds Shaw. Shaw working it back again towards Maguire on the edge of his penalty area. Shaw having to flick it up and then drive it over his own shoulder to try and get it forward. Mount controls that. Former Champions League winner in his Chelsea days. Back from him to Dorgu. Yoro working it out to the United right-hand side for Mazraoui. Possession at the moment, 60-40 as near as makes no difference in Manchester United's favour.
And that is the change for Tottenham. Less possession, more intensity out of possession, harder to break down, and then can look to counter-attack. It's the change that we've seen in this competition, in particular from Ange Postecoglou. It's been successful, and so far I just have given them the edge.
Well, I said he would never change his ways. He has done. They've had less possession than the opposition in the last 6 games, and in fact in 7 of the last 8. It has been effective for them. You think back to one of the most important victories of the season away to Eintracht Frankfurt. And that's exactly how they won that game. Casemiro sliding one down towards Patrick Dorgu on the United left. Left-footed ball hung in high from him towards the far post. Mazraoui attacking it, couldn't get to it. Ahmad slipping it in towards Bruno Fernandes, who drives it through the 6-yard box. But Vicario was there ahead of Højlund. Decent defending as well from Romero to stop him getting a run towards the ball.
And when they do get good possession, Manchester United, and get towards the final third, that's when you want Bruno Fernandes to start to make those runs from that midfield area, to get involved in and around the penalty area. He did well, a clever blindside run from him, and then just was trying to flash it across for Højlund, but too close to Vicario.
Vicario's got possession inside his own penalty area at the moment, and twisted one way and then the other, and just for a moment looked a little bit panic-stricken as the pressure was coming. We've got it clear. Bruno Fernandes picks it up on halfway and then loses out to Richarlison. No harm done from the United perspective. They very quickly won it back. Recycle it down towards the left-hand side for Mason Mount, who controls it on just his 10th start of the season. Another injury hit campaign. Now he's got the better of Johnson here and wins a free kick, which will be taken about 15 yards inside Tottenham territory.
I just think because of the pressure from Tottenham in particular, it means we've seen a lot of free kicks already in the game given by the referee because of that pressure from Tottenham.
It's the first of 3 European finals over the course of the next week or so. We have them all here on the Talksport network. Champions League final a week on Saturday. Chelsea in action this time next week in Wrocław in Poland. In their game against Real Betis tonight, the Europa League final here in northern Spain. 0-0. Hugely entertaining start, albeit that neither side have had a shot on target so far. Ahmad trying to get inside the Tottenham penalty area. That's knocked away from him. Doggy and Basuma combining. Richarlison with a sliding challenge that United just stepped round and batted away. And Bruno's got it again here, turning it forward, having cleverly tricked his way past the Brazilian. He's fed Casemiro. Back he goes for Bruno Fernandes once more inside the centre circle. Fernandes turning, flicking one out to the United right, getting it back again, played forward, knocked away once more by Mazraoui. One back by Udogie, chesting it down. Richarlison can help it forward. Now a chance potentially for Solanke, who's just called from behind there. Being helped back to his feet by Casemiro. He knew the danger of letting him get too much further.
Yeah, he just slid in, not really knowing he was going to get the ball, to be honest, trying to hook the outside of his right boot on towards the ball. Was never going to get there, Casemiro, and Romero steamed over to the referee to sort of say, you know, he stopped a counter-attack. He wanted Casemiro on a yellow card already.
0-0 here on Talksport. Romero playing the ball down towards Pedro Porro. Porro with a misdirected pass. I think that Johnson made the run wanting it to be chipped over the top of Dorgu for Johnson to run onto. Porro, by the time he saw him spin, committed to playing the ball into feet, and it just drifted out of play innocuously for a throw to Manchester United, which they work back for Onana. He drives it forward. Second ball, one in the midfield by Basuma, who's done well. Dorgu slips, not for the first time. Basuma getting the better of him. Recovering challenge from Dorgu. Shaw keeps it in, stops it going out of play for a corner. He then chips it forward. Dorgu trying to hook it up the line. Just shanked it and puts it out for a throw that'll be taken on the Tottenham right.
I mean, there's been absolutely no flow to the game, but I suppose what did we expect with these two who come into this with no form whatsoever? The turnover of possession has been incredible already in this game. Neither team finding that real momentum that you want in the game.
That has been frantic and fractious through the opening 25 minutes. Spurs looking to win another corner. Dorgu's prevented that, and then there's a handball right in front of the assistant referee, Robert Kempter. And the free kick is given Manchester United's way. 0-0. United have played Spurs in Europe before. They knocked them out of the Cup Winners' Cup 61 years ago. They overcame a 2-0 first leg defeat to win 4-1 at Old Trafford. But Spurs have had the upper hand of this fixture in recent times. They're unbeaten in their last 6 meetings. They won 4 of those, including all 3 this season. They have never won 4 in a row against United. Indeed, they've never gone 7 unbeaten against United in the history of the fixture that goes back into the last years of the 19th century. 4 in a row against United for the first time now, and they have ended that long wait for a major honour. 17 years without one. 12 sides, Crystal Palace being the 12th, have won a major honour in the interim. Spurs have got it now. Long right-footed ball over the top. Solanke judging the bounce better than Maguire. Maguire then just headed it past Solanke's shoulder to get it away. It was a really good recovery from the England centre-half. Now Bentancur bringing it forward. Richarlison over on the left-hand side in his yellow boots. Wins the throw off Nissa Mazraoui to be taken over on that far touch. Now Mazraoui's a man with a little bit of history with Tottenham. He was in the Ajax side, beaten home and away by Spurs in the Champions League semi-finals back in 2019. Denied him a Champions League final. He hasn't had one yet. It's the biggest game of his career today. He's got more defending to do here. Spurs try and get it down the line. Udogie getting in a cross, which took a deflection on its way through, and then Dorgu found as though he was forced to play it. It's come off his chest, goes behind for a corner, which is Spurs' 4th.
I mean, it wasn't a good cross really from Destiny Udogie. Far too much on it, and Onana screaming at Dorgu to let it go. I don't know why he's chested it behind. It's a ridiculous decision really from the left wing back.
It's going to Spurs another corner, which Pedro Porro is going to come across the town. Nearly everybody falls for Spurs. Left Dorgu 10 yards outside the penalty area, but everybody else is in close attendance. And again, before Porro's allowed to deliver, the referee just blows his whistle and indicates that he is watching everything that is going on. Shaw and Richarlison are 2 players that are getting involved here. In it comes from Porro. It's just missed inside the penalty area by the first Spurs player. Threw ahead of it. Then Maguire can head it away. Back into the fray towards Solanke, but it didn't get that far. United again able to clear. And Bentancur mops up and goes all the way back for his goalkeeper, who will clear some 60 yards upfield. Solanke again under duress, trying to take it down on his chest. Couldn't do so effectively. United win the second ball, and then Ahmad takes on Udogie, beats him. He's fouled by the Italian, and it's a free kick to United.
I mean, it's brilliantly chaotic at the moment. No team can get hold of it. No team can cope with the pressure that both teams are putting on each other, especially in midfield. The referee can't stop blowing his whistle at the moment for every time a player touches the opposition. But it's fun.
Bruno Fernandes taking his latest free kick. They've set up on the edge of the penalty area, but he just rolled it down the touchline. Found Ahmad. Ahmad trying to trick his way through. Fizzed it across inside the 6-yard box. That was blocked, put out of play for a throw. Ahmad then acts as the conductor of the United choir, trying to get a little bit more volume from them. Meanwhile, there's a Spurs player down injured inside the 6-yard box as Ahmad got the ball in. It's Johnson that's just collided with his goalkeeper and trying to get that away. And the ball has gone out for a throw, which will be taken over on the United right. It's Romero actually that's down her.
Yeah, I think it was brilliant work from Ahmad, really going at Destiny Udogie. I think left footer against left footer can be difficult for the defender as he tries to twist him onto his weaker side and then back again to cross in. And then as the cross was played in, Rasmus Højlund has gone to get across Romero and stuck his elbow out to get across him and just caught him flush on the side of the head. It wasn't anything in it. He's trying to get across him as the cross was coming in. Really caught Romero, who still hasn't got up.
Well, one potentially that he didn't see coming, which might have made it a more difficult one to take. We're 13 minutes in.
I'm pretty sure he's dished out a few of those himself.
Every chance. United restart play. Romero's back on his feet. No need for any treatment, so he doesn't have to go off. Shaw clips it forward. Headed on by Mazraoui. Out towards Ahmad on the United right. Fernandes works it in, it hits Sarr and goes out of play. And I think the best way you can describe what's happened in the opening half hour is the fact that it's just been a never-ending succession of short passages of chaotic play that have very quickly fizzled out, gone out of play for a throw or a free kick has been given. Neither goalkeeper has really had too much to do. There's been defensive uncertainty, no real attacking potency. And Ahmad continues now with an overhit cross which goes behind Vicario's goal and straight out for a goal kick. It's 0-0 with 31 gone on Talksport.
I mean, there's no doubt that it's lacked quality in those ferociously quick moments, but the best players should be able to deal with it. We're yet to really see those players get on the ball enough to actually have an influence. Maybe Ahmad, you would say, has got to grips with Destiny Udogie so far in his 1v1 battle.
Spurs hoping to become the first side to beat United in Europe this season. United the only unbeaten side in this competition. 9 wins, 5 draws from their 14 games. They've scored nearly twice as many goals as they've conceded. Now the 7th side to reach the Europa League final unbeaten. 3 of the previous 6 have lost. Winning Bayer Leverkusen last season. Chelsea, Villarreal and Eintracht Frankfurt in the relatively recent past have all gone through the season unbeaten in this competition. There's a yelp of pain that I'm sure you would have heard there from Destiny Udogie, who's gone down and has stayed down over on the far touchline. The referee didn't think he was fouled. And United are going to be able to bring it away here with Harry Maguire, who leans back and pings a long ball forward that Dorgu very nearly brought down. Jumped up, timed the jump well, caught the ball on the top of his left foot, but he had no room to work with. And it's gone out of play for a throw.
Now just on that far side, I might have thought it was a foul on Basuma, it was, who'd overlapped Destiny Udogie on that left-hand side. And Razraoui caught him so flush with the point of his knee right in the belly of the thigh of Basuma. They're so painful, those dead legs, and they're actually really difficult to shake if they're caught. It might just take him a while just to try and shake a bit of that off.
Well, he's back on his feet and he is doing his best to jog towards halfway. Ruben Amorim used that little hiatus as an opportunity to call the Manchester United players over and speak to them. Amorim in his slight dilemma of a wardrobe, a suit and a white t-shirt and white trainers. I've long gone past the time where I can judge what's fashionable and what isn't. Except when I look in the mirror, I've got a fair idea. Here's Udogie. Basuma having his shirt pulled there. Referee says play on. It was Ahmad that was at fault. That might get revisited. Udogie's been able to bring it further forward. And then when he turns, he's fouled. Referee gives a free kick for that. And Udogie goes out and squares up to Bruno Fernandes. Just felt that he was getting some rough treatment there. And it's going to be a free kick to Spurs.
Well, I'm pretty sure it should have been a free kick and a yellow card for Amad Diallo for pulling back Destiny Udogie by the shirt. And then Bruno Fernandes, I think, just caught him on the toes and stepped in. And rightly so, Ahmad has been given a yellow card. The referee allowed the play to go on, but has still given him a yellow card. I actually think that is good refereeing.
Absolutely played the advantage. And he gets his 4th yellow card of the season. Also giving Spurs another free kick. This one is out towards the left-hand touchline, about 4 yards in from the left-hand touchline, maybe 5 or 6 actually. Ahmad, who's the one-man wall, is being asked to move back to almost exactly the corner of the penalty area. The left-hand corner of the box. The Spurs are looking at it, attacking Onana's goal. Van der Ven has got Maguire just behind him. Behind the pair of them, Solanke and Romero. Solanke's got a great goal-scoring record against United. He's scored in each of the last 4 meetings between these two. Can he get his head on this? It's been a final so far where really good chances have been at an absolute premium. We've only seen 4 efforts on goal, nothing on target as yet. 40 minutes in, what can Spurs muster here? Really poor, low free kick. Højlund knocked it away. And then United whack it upfield where Vicario is going to be able to get on the end of that. Ahmad has not gone down hurt because as Hoyland got the first one away, Ahmad got caught in trying to get further distance on that clearance. Johnson winning it back, deflection on the cross in towards the near post, sat up horribly and hit the hand of Solanke. So it's a free kick to United inside their own penalty area, 0-0.
He was slightly unlucky, he just got ahead of it, and the bounce, maybe the spin of the ball from Brennan Johnson's cross, and just deceived him, caught him on the bicep. That's a good battle so far between him and Maguire. Maguire just, I think, has got the edge physically and has just manoeuvred him. When you think Solanke's going to take it in on the chest or receive, Maguire's just been able to manoeuvre him physically to then take that advantage away.
Those reports of the former England international Dean Ashton here on Talksport, 0-0 at the San Mamés as Richarlison tries to release Solanke. Yoro was hoping that his goalkeeper would come out and deal with it. Onana had no interest in doing that at all. Yoro was forced to play it, but by the time that he realised that he had to, Sarr was bearing down on him as well. And Yoro's touch hit Sarr before ricocheting Onana's way.
Yeah, I think Yoro's almost saying to his goalkeeper, did you even bother to give me a call to let me know? I've got to know with this Tottenham side that Solanke's going to press and he's going to get support from behind him. And perhaps Sarr was there just lurking.
The game stops again for another crunching challenge in the midfield. Bruno Fernandes has got back to his feet with his right hand holding the right hand side of his head. And Solanke had gone up to try and win the ball and caught him. And it's a Manchester United free kick. It was Sarr actually that just committed himself and just caught Bruno. Replay suggests there wasn't an awful lot in it. He's okay, he's back on his feet. Maguire taking the free kick from near the centre circle. Works it out towards Dorgu on the Manchester United left. Still 0-0. 7 to go to half-time. Shaw playing it back for Casemiro. Casemiro goes square to his right-hand side for Yoro. Yoro to Ahmad. Ahmad to Mazraoui. Forced him a little bit wider than he wanted to go. He could still hook his right foot around him to get the cross in, but it's cleared. And now Richarlison can lead the counter-attack, and he's got Udogie making great ground to his left. Plays in destiny Udogie, who takes on one too many. Mazraoui in with a firm challenge to win it back. Hoyland, the head of Bruno, gets the ball in defeat. Hoyland then goes down. Van de Ven was the man that just wrestled him to the ground. The whistle goes. Hoyland thought that the decision had gone against him. The referee decided there was no advantage. It was a foul by Van de Ven. And the free kick goes United's way. So many free kicks in this game. Steady succession of them, but it's still 0-0.
Look, it's incredibly physical, the game so far. You can sense the tension because of it. That's clever from Bruno Fernandes.
Taking the free kick short out towards the right-hand side. Ahmad trying to get in, and it's a low scuffed shot. First shot on target. He ends up getting hurt as he gets the shot away. And United wanting Spurs to put the ball out of play so that Ahmad can receive treatment, and eventually they do. And then there's an inquest between the Spurs players as to why that happened. Vicario absolutely bellowing at Destiny Udogie for putting the ball out of play, but Bruno Fernandes comes across to thank him. And Ahmad just got caught by Richarlison as he got the shot in.
He's been the one though, hasn't he, Ahmad? He's looked lively, he's been positive when he's got the ball, he's looked to turn and get straight at the Tottenham defence, in particular Udogie. He's the one that's getting a little bit of joy in this Manchester United side, and just cut inside, looking to shoot with that left foot. Richarlison doing well and just catching him. He took the shot, but not a foul. But all of these stoppages and players staying down, it's really not helping the flow of the game.
You're listening to Tottenham against Manchester United in the Europa League final. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs with the flexibility to rent for minutes or months. Solanke has lost that. Spurs on the back foot again. United seeing nearly all of their attacking gravitating down the right flank towards Ahmad rather than down the left towards Mason Mount, who hasn't really been able to get into the game so far. Spurs turning over possession, working out towards Richarlison. It's 0-0. Excellent run inside the penalty area from Rodrigo Bentancur. Laid out towards the left, balling towards the near post, and he's in! Spurs lead through Brennan Johnson. It's the kind of goal that the game deserves. Scruffy in the extreme. Spurs fans will not care. Bundled over the line from 4 or 5 feet out. Brennan Johnson has just scored the biggest goal of his life. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. They lead in the Europa League final. And if they hold on from here, they're in the Champions League. And so much of a desperate season will be swiftly forgotten.
And what's always so important about these type of goals is you do not wait for the starter gun. You're already on your way, and Brennan Johnson was. And he's been waiting because these deliveries have been brilliant from Tottenham. And they just needed something. And a brilliant run from Johnson that caused chaos. It's just who does it come off? I think Johnson misses it. It hits Luke Shaw on the upper arm and goes past Onana. I mean, it's a goal fitting of the game so far. So scrappy and so fortunate for Tottenham, but they do not care.
Johnson making the run across the near post. Unsighted Shaw, who would reasonably have expected Johnson would get something on that to turn it in. He made no contact with it. It's come off the upper arm of Shaw, bounces back, past his goalkeeper, who waved the hand at it, couldn't get there in time to keep it out. Only went over the line by 2 or 3 feet, but it was clearly over. And Spurs lead Manchester United with a Luke Shaw own goal.
Well, there's no doubt Tottenham and their supporters are still slightly bitter, aren't they, about the decision so early in that Champions League final. And some would say it's that you need a bit of luck in these big finals. Well, that is a huge slice of it. No fault of Onana. He couldn't have envisaged the ball coming off his own player.
Fernandes takes a free kick at the other end. It's volleyed away by Richarlison. Swerves down towards the corner flag, but bounces on the touchline and goes out for a throw rather than a corner, as Manchester United search an immediate response. Spurs this season in the Premier League have got a lousy record from 1-0. In the Europa League, they've won 9 out of 10 when they've scored first. Can they protect this lead? In Bilbao, it is Tottenham with their noses in front. Yoro, Casemiro chipped over the top. Bruno Fernandes with a right-footed volley. It was very well judged by Van der Ven, who let him get the shot in rather than going towards the ball to try and make the challenge. He knew that if he made himself big behind it, still more chance of blocking it. In comes the next ball from Bruno. That's cleared as well. And then whacked away by Bissouma and picked up by Maguire. 30 seconds to go to half-time. Could be 2 or 3 minutes to be added. Lenny Yoro getting it forward. You're at Talksport. And Manchester United have work to do in the Europa League final. Maguire down for Shaw. Shaw to Dorgu. And all of a sudden, those Tottenham songs have been complemented now by a little buzz of expectation now that they've got their noses in front against a side they've already beaten 3 times this season. Are they going to be able to make it 4? Shaw with a long ball forward. 2 minutes of added time. Højlund beaten in the air by Romero. And it's going to be a Spurs ball. They haven't been able to get Rasmus Højlund into the game at all, Manchester United.
They haven't really been able to build many attacks at all. Manchester United have been overrun in midfield as we expected, with the 3 against the 2. Bruno Fernandes is trying his best to get involved, but still had no real influence.
Just past the midway stage of the first of the 2 extra minutes. And Manchester United have another free kick. Both sides have had a steady string of them without any of them really been effective. Mendes raises his right arm above his head. Flips this one in deep towards the far post where Maguire goes up for it. He's beaten in the air. Ahmad first to the loose ball, 20 outside the penalty area. Shaw chipping it in. That one is easily headed away. Back out to Ahmad again. Ahmad with a left-footed in-swing. It should be Vicario's, it is. He's come out and claimed it well. Now with 40 seconds to go to half-time, he's going to be in no hurry to get this back upfield. Spurs leading United 1-0.
Well, having not scored in their previous 4 major finals, Tottenham, and they haven't tonight because Luke Shaw has, but you just wonder just how important that goal is for the mentality of the players, for the confidence of the supporters.
Charleston over on the Tottenham left, a great turn. He's pirouetted away from Mazraoui. Sends a high ball through the penalty area, which will bounce once down towards the touchline. Dorgu shepherds it over the line for a throw that there will be no time to take. It's Tottenham with a half-time lead at the San Mamés. The scruffiest of goals in the scruffiest of games. Spurs lead it by a goal to nil. They're 45 minutes away from salvation for this shocking season. United with work to do, trailing at the break.
Wow, what an atmosphere away to our right among the Spurs fans who are dancing with jubilation. It's only half-time, but they're on their way. The Spurs players have got themselves in a mini huddle, little collection of them, getting together just before they make their way down the tunnel. And they're getting together just to say, listen, we're halfway there. Spurs lead 1-0. And I don't know about you, but I feel you've been harsh on the goal in commentary, Dean Ashton, because I think it's a brilliant ball in. I think it's a brilliant run from Brennan Johnson. And you've been talking about Solanke and Maguire in that first half. Solanke's caused so many problems, been so busy, such a nuisance, so they can't afford to leave him alone. They've got to be aware of him. So there's loads of things that United have to be aware of. You put a brilliant ball in, Johnson makes a brilliant run across, it leads to chaos, which has been the word of the first half. Chaos leads to the opening goal.
Oh, I mean, you have to praise the ball in from Papsar. It's right in that area that we talk about where defenders are then facing their own goal. And you're right, you need the run, you need the intelligence of the run, you need the speed and the anticipation of the run, which is, I think, is his biggest strength, Brennan Johnson, is arriving at the back post or arriving from a delivery like that. I think that's going to be his strength throughout his career. But he ultimately misses it. And he's very fortunate that it then hits Luke Shaw and ends up in the back of the net, which is really unfortunate for Manchester United. But you're right. It doesn't happen without those first 2 parts that need to be right.
Absolutely. The big problem for Manchester United is nobody's causing any problems. Amad Diallo a little bit on that right-hand side. But the key is, you mentioned it towards the end of the first half, they need to get Bruno Fernandes into the game. How on earth is Ruben Amorim going to do that with his half-time team talk? What have they got to do to get Bruno into the game?
Well, I think he could look at Højlund has been so ineffective. I'm not saying it's just his fault, but he's been so ineffective. He's been bullied by Romero, who's just too aggressive for him, and he hasn't got the physical capabilities to cope with it, Højlund. So take him off and do something slightly different. If you don't want to use Xerxes if he's not ready, then play Mount or Ahmad or Bruno Fernandes as a deeper forward player, and don't let Romero have anybody to get hold of and be aggressive. Don't let Mickey van der Ven able just to sit there, maybe has to come out of position, because you've got Bruno Fernandes and you're not utilising him, and you're ultimately leaving Casemiro on his own because of the selection of the team. So maybe Ugarte or Mainu to come into midfield, Bruno Fernandes to move further forwards, and I think you'd have to sacrifice Højlund.
It's not been great from a Manchester United point of view, not great at all. You're listening to the Europa League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent a Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs with the flexibility to rent for minutes all month. Spurs buzzing, Spurs leading, Spurs heading into next season's Champions League as it stands. Second half of this Europa League final. Spurs 1, Man United 0. Next on Talksport.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Crunch. At Tesco, we love a good crunch. Imagine the first crisp bite of an apple or the nibble of celery dipped in hummus. It's reserved for perfectly baked sourdough and deliciously fresh iceberg lettuce. To us, every single crunch is worth savouring. The crunch. It's not a little thing. It's everything. Tesco. Every little helps.
Hillary's mid-season sale just got even better. Get up to 40% off hundreds of made-to-measure styles. Plus, get an extra 10% off absolutely everything. That's 10% off all blinds, curtains and shutters. And an extra 10% off our new range of awnings and pergolas, with measuring and fitting always included. Book your free in-home appointment today. Visit hillarys.co.uk. Hurry, Hillary's extra 10% off everything must end 2nd of June. Conditions apply.
Britain, whether you're swimming lengths or running miles, join your local Nuffield Health Gym today. With a fully equipped gym, a swimming pool, expert personal trainers, a wide range of Les Mills classes, as well as on-site physiotherapy. Join today to get the rest of the month free. Hurry, offer ends tomorrow. Search Nuffield Health Gyms. Facilities available in most gyms, 12-month commitments only, joining fee applies, selected sites only. Visit nuffieldhealth.com/gyms for details.
Pain and the poetry of the beautiful game.
Overhead kick, brilliant goal! The UEFA Europa League final.
Live on Talksport.
Well, Brennan Johnson credited with a scrappy goal. His 18th of the season, his 5th in the Europa League. Tottenham lead Man United 1-0 at half-time in the Europa League here in Bilbao. The Europa League final. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Jamie O'Hara, Jason Cundy on the Sports Bar later. Tomorrow on Breakfast, it's hosted by Jeff Stelling and Gabby Agbonlahor. Among the guests, and get this for a guest list, former Man United champion Ashley Young, former Spurs defender Ramon Vega, former Spurs manager Harry Redknapp, former United keepers Mark Bosnich, Ben Foster, Ali McCoist here in Bilbao is also going to be a guest on the Breakfast Show tomorrow. Our own Dean Ashton will be on. Spurs fan, Talksport presenter Abby Summers, and chief football correspondent and United fan Alex Crook might be on, depends how the second half goes. We'll speak to him in this half-time break in just a second. But let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
Tottenham then 1-0 up at half-time against Man United. Spurs are 11-8 on to win in 90 minutes. Man United are 17-4. The draw in normal time 11-5. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
So Spurs 1 up. Let's hear the reaction from back in North East London. Ian Abrahams at Spurs home ground for Talksport. Ian.
Thanks, Adrian. Welcome back to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where Spurs lead at the break. And I'll tell you what, this place went absolutely mad when he scored. What's your name?
Luke.
What did you think when the goal went in?
It was great, mate.
You going to win the trophy?
Definitely.
Poor first half, though, wasn't it?
Amazing first half for Tottenham to score. Brilliant, really good.
Did you think they were going to?
I wasn't sure, no, but I'm so pleased they have.
Come here, you. What's your name?
Tom.
I mean, this place went absolutely mad, didn't it?
It was unbelievable. I mean, great time to score, and I mean, it was a bit of it wasn't a great goal necessarily, but I mean, this place erupted, and it shows what it means to us. Yeah.
45 minutes away from your first trophy in 17 years.
Unbelievable. Just pray we...
What will your nerves be like in the second half?
I will be a mess, but fingers crossed we can get over the line.
Are you going to be a mess?
Yes, yeah, I will be.
You're already a mess, don't worry about that. Listen, they're loving it here, Adrian. They've gone mad for the Johnson goal. They'll go even madder in 45 minutes' time if Romero picks up the trophy.
It's not over yet. Second half to come on Talksport. Football season may be coming to an end, but there's still plenty of exciting action coming your way on Talksport this summer, including the British and Irish Lions Tour Down Under. We'll be bringing you live commentary of all 3 test matches, plus the warm-up games, as well as exclusive content from Australia. And Talksport is the only place on national radio where you can follow all of the Lions action. I say the football season coming to an end. It never ends, really. We've also got commentary of the Lionesses' bid to hold on to their title of European champions. We'll be at the Euros in Switzerland this July with England. Let's bring in our chief football correspondent, Alex Crook. Manchester United fan, of course, 1-0 down to Spurs. It was a scrappy goal, but Spurs lead 1-0. What are Man United doing wrong?
Yeah, and probably the quality of the goal sums up the lack of quality in the game. What are Manchester United doing wrong? Almost everything, in my opinion. They look a nervous wreck defensively. The midfield setup is all wrong. It's not allowing Bruno Fernandes in particular and Mason Mount to a lesser extent to get in the game. And honestly, I've been watching Rasmus Højlund. He's touched the ball about 8 times in the first half. He never makes the right run. There's been opportunities where he can get across his defender, he can get ahead of his defender in the penalty area. He doesn't do it. He can't hold the ball up. He should not come back out for the second half. I don't want to pick on individuals, but his performance has been pathetic, Rasmus Højlund.
OK, so what would you, if you're clearly going to bring him off, what do you do? Because Xerxes is only just back from injury. Is he fully fit? There's no other orthodox striker. Well, he's not even an orthodox number 9, is he? So what do you do?
I think I'd probably move Bruno Fernandes further forward, possibly look at Alejandro Garnacho. There was an interesting Instagram post before we got the team news on Garnacho's Instagram, and it was a picture of him scoring in the FA Cup final and a picture of him scoring at Wembley in the Community Shield. I think he was probably trying to make a point to Ruben Amorim. And on form, listen, Garnacho's not had a brilliant season. He started very well actually under Ten Hag, and then it sort of faded away once the manager got changed. But if you're Garnacho, every day, presumably Højlund's just as bad in training as he is out on the pitch on a Sunday or a Wednesday afternoon. You're looking at that and thinking, well, how can I not get a place in this team? How can you keep picking this fella who never scores a goal, never offers anything, and I can't get it? I understand his frustration.
No, I'm with you, because he's... listen, I think it's fair to say that he tries hard. You know, and there's some strength in there as well, but there's no quality. He's not giving any Spurs defender the kind of problems that, say, Solanke has been giving Maguire.
And that is the real contrast, because what I think Spurs have done really well, that their press has been good, and that's been led by Solanke. There was a spell early in the game when he hadn't had too many touches of the ball, but he was always a menace. He forced Harry Maguire into an early mistake. I think Richarlison has been leading the press well as well. So that's the difference. At the top end of the pitch, Tottenham have got players who are putting the pressure on defenders. United haven't had that in the first half.
On the goal itself, were you annoyed with Onana? Gets a lot of stick. Would you think he was to blame? Luke Shaw to blame? What do you think?
Well, it's not the first time. It won't be the last time you see Onana floundering in the back of the net as the ball trickles over the goal line. But I'd blame Luke Shaw, I think. And he doesn't look fit, does he, Luke Shaw? You know, he's missed so much football, and he was so sluggish to get across there. A little bit of good fortune from a Tottenham perspective that he goes in off Luke Shaw. But again, he's got to get the right side of his man. These are basics. I mean, Dean knows more than me. He's played the game at the top level. But what Højlund's doing, or not doing, that's basic. And Luke Shaw not getting the right side of his man, it's just basic bad defending.
I mean, look, Rasmus Højlund needs help, is what he needs. He needs coaching help. He needs confidence.
He needs a move.
He needs confidence help. No, it's not like he's got lots of support up there. It's not, is it? It's not as if Ahmad's getting close to him, or Mount, or Fernandes. He is on his own against Romero and Van der Ven. There's not many strikers that can handle those two on his own. So it's not all him, but he's been poor and he's offered very little. Luke Shaw, you're right, it's that lack of match fitness in those key moments, the sharp moments of mind and body, he may be just lacking.
And I've just seen the Man United players getting ready to come out. Looks like Rasmus Højlund is coming back out for the second half. Did you just pull a face then, Alex? You did, didn't you?
Wonderful.
What kind of supporter are you? Outrageous. By the way, I'm going to make this statement, and I could have egg on my face at full time, but I believe Man United had £35 million to spend in January and they bought Dorgu.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of his either, to be honest.
He's got a bit to do. Let's just put it that way. What have Manchester United got to do in the second half? I know the obvious answer is score, but
they've got to find that character that they have shown. You know, even when they've been really poor, they've somehow been able to pull something out when they've been really struggling, and they've got to hope that it happens. I just wonder on Fernandez's positioning whether that's going to change at all, because you need him on the ball more. You need him to have more of an effect.
Man United out first, they're getting ready, they've got the ball in hand. Bruno Fernandes right over the centre spot as Spurs make their way out. Vicario goes over towards those Spurs fans. He'll be keeping the goal right in front of them, and if he keeps a clean sheet, if the ball doesn't end up in that net, Spurs will win the Europa League. Spurs will win a trophy. That's all I have to say. He keeps a clean sheet, Spurs win a trophy. Another day of football history coming up, possibly on Talksport. It's Spurs 1, Manchester United 0. Second half with Dean Ashton and Jim Proudfoot.
Well, Vicario hasn't kept a clean sheet in the last 9 games against Premier League opposition. Last side that he did keep a clean sheet against in that run was Manchester United. And if he can shut them out for another 45 minutes, as you say, Spurs will be the Europa League champions. He gets a big ovation as he runs away to our right-hand side. There are no changes in personnel ahead of the start of this second half. United lining up Onana in goal, Yoro, Maguire and Shaw, Mazraoui, Casemiro, Fernandes and Dorgu, Ahmad and Mount and Højlund. We're back underway. Spurs, Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie, Bissouma, Bentancur and Sarr. Johnson, Solanke and Richarlison are the front three. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. It's 1-0 to Spurs at the beginning of the second half, and immediately from the restart the player goes down hurt. It's Romero who just got caught in the face by his own man Sarr.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's so aggressive in the way that he defends. He maybe doesn't just see those moments where he could actually step off there and allow Papsar to go up for the header and then deal with it as it comes back down towards him. He doesn't. He has to go and be aggressive and win the header, and ends up just headbutting the back of Papsar's head.
Manchester United aiming for their 6th European trophy and their 3rd of this century. And to go along with the success that they had in Moscow, I think it was 17 years ago tonight in Moscow, that Manchester United beat Chelsea in that extraordinary penalty shootout. Penalty shootout of John Terry and Nicolas Anelka. And United also victorious in 2017 in northern Stockholm, beating Ajax. Nana played in goal that day. He was on the losing side. Is he going to be on the losing side again? We're playing for United this time. United in possession. The heart of their back line, Lenny Yoro, is the man with the ball at his feet. He's found Casemiro, back for Yoro, and to his left for Harry Maguire. Maguire comes forward over the halfway line, lays it out towards Shaw. Shaw trying to roll it down the line for Mason Mount. Spurs repel that, but Shaw is able to win it back and play it back for Casemiro. Right-footed ball through the midfield, picked up by Ahmad. Awkward one for him to field. A really good, brisk second touch. Got the ball back for Yoro, just played the way that he was facing back towards halfway. And then as Mazraoui rolls it to Ahmad down the line, cross comes Yves Bissouma to put it out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Manchester United right in front of us. Yoro in possession, back for Maguire with 2.5 into the second half here on Talksport at 1-0 Spurs.
And once again, it must be strange for Tottenham to watch their side look defensively solid.
As Ahmad plays the ball in, a little flick header from Højlund, he got it all wrong. And it's just cannoned off the side of his head and looped straight out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, not easy when it's behind you. Wants to just try and skim that header, gets too much on it. Ahmad looking to just feed that in towards him. Just got free for a second. But like I just said about that defensive unit of Tottenham's, in the last few months, we've seen it in this competition. They just sit back, try and defend the shape, and they can then break with the pace of Solanke, Richarlison and Johnson.
Yeah, only conceded 4 goals in the last 6.5. Europa League ties in the knockout stage. Haven't conceded more than 1 in any of those games. Van de Ven has led into Højlund here and fouled him. And he's got a yellow card, Mickey Van de Ven. Højlund back on his feet. Another free kick to United. And this one is predominantly over towards the right-hand touchline and 15 yards outside the penalty area. Van de Ven in strongly. There's an awkward fall for Højlund as well. He just gave him a shove in the neck at the back as he went up to attack that, and the yellow card goes Van de Ven's way.
Yeah, well, ultimately, you can't just barge through the back of a player to then win the ball, as Mickey Van de Ven did then, and he doesn't need to. You know, there's space in behind. He's not going to outrun him. It's just this aggression that Tottenham have had all game so far. It's obviously something that the managers wanted.
And Fernandes get the delivery right, sent inside the penalty area. It's off the top of Bissouma's head, headed away then by Bentancur. The Spurs player goes down with a collision with Maguire, and the referee didn't see it. Romero back on his feet, squares up to Maguire, and the two of them walk away. Just for a moment now, Maguire's going to be called over by the referee. There's some pushing and shoving going on between Maguire and Romero. Romero went to ground pretty easily as a result of losing that little bit of grappling. Then got back to his feet and told Maguire what he thought. Felix Zweier has calmed everything down.
I mean, if they did decide to take it outside, those two, I'd be out there watching.
Oh yeah, popcorn all round. Vicario knocking it forward. Who's your money on?
It's got to be the man, Maguire.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be drawn against the loser, would you? Let alone the winner. Ball goes out. It's a throw which will be taken over on the Spurs right-hand side.
I mean, it's been a fight of a final, hasn't it? I mean, it's just been so physical. So difficult, actually, really, for the referee.
It's done well to only produce a couple of yellow cards so far. Van de Ven and Ahmad, the players whose name he's taken. Højlund, a little flick header. It's well won back by Destiny Udogie. Højlund gives chase, and as the ball goes back towards Vicario, Vicario could play out of the penalty area towards Porra. Not the best ball forward from him. Bentancur got there first, just ahead of Dorgu, and then having retrieved it, lays it back for Porro, who will volley it forward over halfway. It's returned by the head of Maguire. And Casemiro's gone down. It's going to be a free kick which will be taken by United. I mean, as a spectacle, it really hasn't been up to much. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's a game with so much drama, so much riding on it. But I think that has suffocated the skill out of the game. It could also, of course, be the fact that these two teams are in such rotten form domestically, which has also played its part. It genuinely is almost like watching a relegation six-pointer attempt.
It is, yes. I mean, they're just trying to squeeze anything out of their own performances to get through this final and win it. And at the moment, Tottenham have been slightly better at that. They're squeezing everything out of what they've got at the moment, which so much of it is work rate. Their work rate's been magnificent as a team.
Solanke putting the pressure on Maguire. Johnson joins in by going over to press Shaw. He got it forward for Dorgu to Bruno Fernandes. Then Porro's across and fires the ball into Mount. And it ricochets off him and goes out of play for a Spurs throw over on that far touchline. So attacking options on the bench for Manchester United, principally Zirkzee and Garnacho. Garnacho's only scored one goal in his 14 European ties so far this season. That was against Werder Glimt, a side that Spurs ended up drawing in the semi-finals and beating. Højlund, for his part, has actually scored 6 goals in Europe so far this season, but only got 4 outside of Europe. Domestic games. Ball thrown into the feet of Bentancur. Spurs leading here 1-0 with 8 minutes gone in the second half. Richarlison wrestled to the ground by Mazraoui. And play stops again. I mean, the crime count is pretty high in this game. 20 fouls committed now. 14 of them by Spurs. But they've got this latest free kick on halfway.
But just every single defender is desperately trying to win the ball, even if it's not really there to win. It's just that eagerness to make sure that the ball doesn't have time to settle, a player get their head up. And Tottenham have just been slightly better at that so far.
Van de Ven takes a free kick straight down the left-hand touchline. Richarlison flicks it on. The offside flag is up, though. And a free kick has now gone United's way. I think there's too much danger of a football match of real high attacking zest and quality breaking out. But as I mentioned, that doesn't matter. It's all about getting the job done. And the fact that it hasn't been much to watch matters nothing for the supporters of the winning team, whoever that might prove to be. Mount's been fouled here. Free kick back for Shaw to Casemiro. His ball forward left a bit to be desired. Turned back round the corner though by Mount. Højlund, Casemiro flicking it on. Ahmad was never going to get to that. Van der Ven steps up from the defensive line to get it away. Puts it out of play for a throw. Taken swiftly by United. It's work back for Maguire. Down towards Lenny Yoro. With Talksport. 10 minutes into the second half in Bilbao. Manchester United looking for an equaliser. Mazraoui's crossfield ball volleyed away by Pedro Porro. Anywhere will do. Just got his foot underneath it. High looping clearance, which goes out for a Manchester United throw.
Well, surely Ruben Amorim already is looking at just over 10 minutes of the second half, and nothing's changed. Absolutely nothing. Bruno Fernandes is in a position where you cannot get anything out of him. It's a waste, a massive waste of your best talent. And Tottenham in that midfield area just pressurising. He's against two players. He has to start thinking about what he can change, either tactically or personnel, to change the flow of the game.
And credit to Ange Postecoglou for setting his side up in the way that he has. They've been difficult to break down, and it's been easy for them to frustrate United. Richarlison getting the better of Ahmad here. United still with just one inconsequential Ahmad shot on target so far tonight. Free kick given away by Richarlison, who then stopped it being taken twice. Which could easily have been a yellow card. Should have been a yellow card, really. Mazraoui down towards Ahmad, using the full width of the pitch on the United right. He thought that he'd just been able to trick his way past Destiny Udogie, but it hit him last and goes out of play for a Spurs throw midway inside their own half. Still they lead after a goal which has gone down as a shot on target, but at the moment it's been credited to Brennan Johnson. We've seen lots of replays, and they do suggest that Johnson didn't get any touch at all, that it is a Luke Shaw own goal. Certainly hit Shaw and bounced towards goal. It was just whether Johnson got the faintest of touches to help it over the line. But if he didn't touch it, and it is an own goal, Spurs actually haven't had a shot on target at all. But they lead by a goal to nil. Now Bissouma is told to desist by the referee, having given a free kick away and very slowly retreating the full complement of 10 yards. United can take it. Get it down towards Mazraoui. Taking on Richarlison, who's caught him. And he's going to get booked this time.
That was just poor defending Richarlison in that position. It's not natural to him. He's got the work ethic in this game so far to track, but then once he's beaten by Mazraoui, he just steps across with his left leg and takes him out. Rightly so, gets a yellow card.
Bruno Fernandes is going to take the free kick. A yard in from the right-hand touchline. Spurs have got 10 back inside their own penalty area, and Sarr as the one-man wall if Bruno Fernandes mishits him. United have got 6 inside the penalty area to attack this, so heavily outnumbered. Bruno, right-footed in towards the near post. Oh, it's hit Vicario. Smuggled away in behind him. I think it was Solanke that got the touch to knock it away. He's just played it in towards the near post as everybody was expecting it to be teased up towards the far. Yoro made a good run across the face of the goalkeeper. Very nearly got a touch to flick it past him. And in the end, Spurs dealt with it effectively enough.
Oh, it was a dipping delivery, crafted by Bruno Fernandes to that very edge of where Vicario wants to come out to. Tiny touch in the end from Yoro. Actually, Vicario does well because that deflection meant he just had to shift his position to make the save, and then he needed the support of his teammates just to clear. But it was the delivery that caused the problem there.
Yoro getting it down towards the right-hand side for Mazraoui to Ahmad. Back for Yoro again. 58 gone. Spurs just over half an hour away now from breaking their long trophy drought. Ball play back in towards the feet of Mason Mount inside the penalty area. Mount's done well, good upper body strength. And he's then, having tripped over, stopped it going out of play for a goal kick. Spurs end up getting a throw. Well, football season, there's still got plenty of finals between now and its climax. We've got the final day of the Premier League season, including United's game at home to Aston Villa here on Talksport Sunday at 4. We've got all the playoff finals. We've got the other European finals coming up as well. And then over the course of the summer, we've got the British and Irish Lions tour down under. We'll be bringing you live commentary of all 3 test matches, plus the warm-up games, as well as exclusive content from Australia. Talksport, the only place on national radio where you can follow all of the Lions action. We've got the Lions and the Lionesses as well, as they aim to retain their title in Switzerland. It's all coming up over the course of the summer on Talksport. Solanke volleys the ball away here, when perhaps he could have taken a more composed touch. Nana comes out, sweeps up, an hour play. Dorgu for Manchester United. Slipping in the left-hand side of the penalty area. Højlund, after Mount's cross, took a deflection. Couldn't get there ahead of Vicario, who comes out and very gratefully smothers. An hour play. Spurs 1, Manchester United 0 here on Talksport.
Oh, not good for the nerves though, is it, if you're a Tottenham supporter? If this is the way they're going to play for the whole of the second half, that they're going to sit there and try and defend the lead and just whack it forwards every time that it is loose, because United are going to create opportunities if you allow them to cross from decent areas.
I wonder how Jamie O'Hara's nerves are going right now. He and Jason Cundy opening up the sports bar at the conclusion of this game. You'll have your chance to have your say. If Spurs were to hold on, what does that mean for Ange? Manchester United trying to bring the ball forward. Sarr laying it back. We're all going to have loads of reaction as well from here, to also be able to see on the Talksport app, the brand new Talksport app, where you can listen to all of the games, but all the reaction, the best bits of the day in video for you as well on the Talksport app. Spurs bring the ball forward down the right. Sliding challenge from Dorgu. And Johnson thought that it should be a corner and smacks his palm into the ground when a goal kick is given. Goal kick that Onana has taken. Gets it forward quickly here for Luke Shaw. Shaw coming over the halfway line for Manchester United. Out towards Dorgu. Every pass telegraphed a little bit. Dorgu getting on the end of that. Oh, it's taking a deflection. Ahmad taking in touch, trying to turn. And very well dealt with by a combination of Basuma and Udogie inside the penalty area. Spurs getting it away. Now the counter-attack could be on. Solanke is making a run through the middle. And he's been fed here by Udogie. Nice touch, just got away from him. Maguire can watch it out of play for a goal kick. Great break by Destiny Udogie. He slipped it in towards Solanke, but a heavy touch just saw the ball veer off to his right-hand side, and he couldn't recover.
Oh, it's a great chance. It's a great chance if he gets the pass right. He's slightly overhit. It's just ahead of Solanke. He can't wrap his foot round it. And the chance is then gone. Maguire just pushes him out of play. But Amad Diallo, please explain yourself. Explain to me why you have not taken the opportunity to strike with your favoured left foot when it is cut back beautifully towards the penalty spot. Finish it. Why on earth would you take a touch and try and turn when the opportunity was there just to craft a finish near post or far?
Manchester United with a poor record in European finals in the recent past. If you include European Super Cups, they've lost 5 of their last 6 continental finals. And 7 out of the previous 14 all told. Spurs have won 3 of their last 5, including the all-British affair against Wolves in the UEFA Cup back in 1972. Here's Harry Maguire. Now down towards Lenny Yoro. Yoro bringing the ball forward. 63 gone. It's 1-0. Yoro with a lazy run that Needed stopping by Ibasuma. Yoro has stayed down for a moment. He's going back to his feet now. United are still in possession. The ball comes towards Ahmad. Ahmad trying to find a long way round Richarlison, who recovered really well, got back to his feet on the left-hand touchline and hammers it away. And all Bruno Fernandes can do is slide that out of play for a Spurs throw. But United need to get Bruno more heavily involved so that he can get trident the players ahead of him more heavily involved.
But it's going to help him, the fact that Tottenham are sitting so deep. It means that when he does receive the ball off the defenders, Maguire, Yoro, Shaw, as soon as he turns, he's closer to the penalty area. He can then look to play it inwards. It look to combine also. I just think Tottenham don't need to sit so deep so early.
Yoro heading the ball onto his hand. And it goes out of play for what has been given as a Spurs throw by Destiny Udogie. 19 minutes gone. To our left-hand side, Spurs legend Clive Allen is kicking absolutely every ball. He's appealing for every decision. This really matters. I think the call has come to the subs bench, and Son is going to be coming on very shortly. Big ovation from the Spurs fans away to our right-hand side with his imminent arrival.
Yeah, Richarlison just signalling to the Tottenham bench, whether it's cramp or whether he's actually felt something in the muscle. But he signals straight away, and Son has taken off the tracksuit top and is ready. I mean, Richarlison's on a yellow card and he's having to defend, so it probably would be a risk to leave him on anyway.
No 100th career goal today for Richarlison, but a milestone for Son, who in coming on will make his 68th European appearance for Spurs, which is a new club record, breaking Harry Kane's mark of 67. Only scored one goal in his last 17 games, which was a penalty against Bournemouth. He's got a really good record against United, though. 5 in his last 9 in this fixture, including the winner in the League Cup quarter-final earlier this season. He'll be disappointed to have been left out tonight, but on he comes for appearance number 454 for Tottenham. And will it be the most important of the lot?
Well, he's got the capabilities. And he did look reasonably sharp in the last couple of games in the training session we watched here on Tuesday night.
Yeah, there's a real purpose about his play in the 65 minutes, and most of the 65 minutes that he played at Villa on Friday night in our live commentary on Talksport 2. United have another free kick deep inside their own half. The foul on Yoro. And the ball has swiftly been worked out towards the Manchester United left. Launched long by Dorgu. Headed down and picked up easily by Ibasuma. Then rolled forward but given away. Dorgu read that pass. He can work it into the feet of Ahmad. It didn't get there swiftly enough. 3 Spurs players converged upon him. And Ahmad was fouled. And then Bissouma has been given a yellow card. I don't know whether that was for stopping the free kick being taken quickly. It certainly wasn't the perpetrator of the foul. Or he bent down and picked up the ball once the free kick had been given and stopped Ahmad taking it. So Ibasuma booked. That was a daft yellow card to pick up. And the United free kick that's taken by Fernandes, 2 straight. Oh, Vicario's come out and spilt it, and he's brilliantly hacked off the line from Højlund's header. He's cleared. It's an astonishing clearance. A quite magnificent piece of play. And the Spurs man that perpetrated it is down. He's caught in the net at the moment. And play continues. But Van de Ven, that's as good as a goal. Vicario came out, made a right mess of it, punched it straight onto the head of Højlund. And Van de Ven has hacked it off the line. He's got his right boot up about 8 or 9 feet in the air to be able to hammer that away, and his momentum took him into the net where he got caught. That is a stunning piece of defending.
That is an outrageous piece of athleticism from Mickey Van de Ven. I mean, the ball is 6 feet in the air, about to fall into the back of the net. Mickey van der Ven's gone with his feet. It's ridiculous. No wonder he's hurt himself as he lands into the metal part of the net surrounding. That's just stunning. Absolutely amazing from Mickey van der Ven.
Well, Vicario was bailed out because he came out to punch it, didn't get his hands on it at all. It came back off his right shoulder. Hoyland nearly scored. Van der Ven's brilliance denies, and that's easily the most exquisite piece of individual skill that we've seen so far today. A goal line clearance from Mickey van der Ven, and that kind of thing happens, Spurs fans. I wonder whether you're starting believing that your name is on this. Ball played forward by Sarr, straight into the face of Harry Maguire. He's okay. Play continues with Dorgu. We've got just over 20 minutes to go. Spurs 1, Manchester United now.
I mean, Rasmus Højlund must think, I've scored. As he's headed that, he's thought, that's perfect. Just away from the defenders, high enough. And then you see that from Van der Ven. It's a crushing blow to Højlund.
Well, getting there was the hard bit, but even having got there, he could easily have sliced it into his own net. It's just an outrageous clearance. It might be Højlund's last touch of the night. Ball is played forward towards Mazraoui because Garnacho, newly blonde again, and Zirkzee are about to come on. Yoro volleys the ball away on the edge of his own penalty area. Ball brought down by Son, trying to get away from Ahmad, who timed his challenge well. United poke it to safety down towards the right-hand side. Free kick given their way, and that will allow the changes to be made. So we're going to see Zirkzee and Garnacho with 20 minutes to go.
No surprise, Rasmus Højlund makes way. And then Mount is the other one. Both been very ineffective, you would have to say, for Manchester United.
You're listening to Tottenham against Manchester United in the Europa League final, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move or planning a clear out? Well, with vans of all shapes and sizes, if you've got a plan, they've got a van. So Mountain Højlund off, Zirkzee and Garnacho on. Garnacho's proven himself to be the man for the big occasion in the past for Manchester United. Mazraoui, back for Ahmad, to Yoro. Yoro to Maguire and out to Luke Shaw. Tottenham have now led for half an hour. And there's less than 20 minutes to go. Yoro bring the ball forward over halfway. Right-footed through towards Zirkzee. Zirkzee's first touch of the night is a really good one. Mazraoui, diving header just wide. Good ball whipped in, and Bruno threw himself at it. Had to go full stretch, got his forehead to it, but he couldn't divert it just inside the post, but that's a better chance.
First of all, great centre-forward play from Zirkzee. Ball into him, crisp touch, laid off, took Mickey van der Ven out of the game, and it just allowed the space then for Bruno Fernandes to drive into that was left by Van der Ven at that near post. Great ball in, just could not direct the header on target. I think that's a good chance for Fernandes.
Yeah, scored twice here in the Europa League semi-final 3 weeks ago. And unable to score what would have been his 99th United goal. They've had 8 attempts to Tottenham's 3 over the whole game. But it's 1-0 to Spurs. And that Sarr cross which hit Luke Shaw and ricochet past his goalkeeper, a moot point whether Johnson got a touch or not. Johnson still officially credited with the goal, and that is the goal that wins the Europa League as we stand right now. 17 minutes to go. Dorgu forward towards Garnacho, and he's won a throw over on the far touchline. Good defending again by Pedro Porro. Shaw back for Maguire. Maguire taking a touch, bringing it over the halfway line. Clip ball out towards Garnacho. Good jump from him. Spring heel to bring the ball down on his chest. Gets towards the byline. Clipping it in. Takes a deflection. And Vicario's handling doesn't let him that down that time.
But what he does give you again is that drive, that positivity, that confidence to go and take on players and try and make something happen. Garnacho, it's a good block in the end from Porro before Garnacho tries to put the cross in. I mean, he's gone with the bleached blonde hair, I've got to say. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, well, I understand that I was going to say, been watching DVDs of you, been watching VHSs of you back in the day. Fernandes out towards the left-hand side. Garnacho inside the penalty area, low right-footed shot, well saved, diving to his left-hand side. Vicario beats it away. United looking much better immediately after making that double change.
Well, it only took 70 minutes for Amorim to realise that it did need to change. And straight away it's given them a fresh outlook. Garnacho again. He's got a bit of greediness about him, and I like it. Just getting it onto his right foot, striking towards the far post, skimming off the surface, and a good save by Vicario.
First corner of the second half. It's gone United's way. It's their third of the night. In front of the Tottenham fans. Right-footed away swinger. Easily headed away by Romero. Comes down towards Ahmad. Fernandes has got it again. Oh, clever little nutmeg of Bissouma. And then Ahmad trying to take Johnson on. Almost past him. And Johnson flicks it away. One final thought. Is Garnacho going to look back on this haircut and regret it? I'm just asking for a friend.
Not at all.
Okay, that's good. Fernandes to take this corner then on the Manchester United right.
I mean, he might be bald.
15 minutes to go. In it comes. Cleared. Shaw trying to get it back in. Didn't get hold of the left-footed shot. It was blocked by Sarr. Right-footed ball chipped over the top. It's a peach of a pass. Fernandes trying to cushion it into the path of Casemiro. Spurs get it away. And now on the counter-attack, they might be able to have some joy. Son taking it on. Brilliantly thwarted by the retreating Dorgu, who did well to win that back. Fernandes finds Shaw. Out towards Garnacho. Garnacho coming towards the edge of the penalty area. Shaw on the overlap for him. Sliding challenge. And the referee says no foul. And he's given a goal kick.
Well, it's very similar to the one at the other end that Brennan Johnson wanted. A player sliding in, a defender sliding in, but the attacker just falling over the legs rather than actually having the contact. The player coming across and falling over the legs. But there's been a proper shift in the game for Manchester United.
First 25 minutes of this second half, it didn't ever really feel at any stage as though Spurs were holding on. It is beginning to feel like that now. United shot count up to 9. Only 2 attempts on target so far. But they've shown themselves to be master of getting themselves out of inconceivable situations. And when you have the fight back that they had against Lyon, that will always stand you in good stead as the minutes tick down. Remember, in that game, having conceded 4 in half an hour, with Lyon down to 10 men, United scored 3 in the last 6 minutes of the second period of extra time to win 5-4. Here's Ahmad on the right-hand touchline for Manchester United. He's laid it back for Lenny Yoro. Down it comes for Ahmad again with 13 minutes to go. Ahmad to Yoro. Zirkzee waiting. Hasn't had too many touches so far. Those that he's had have been pretty decent. Fernandes tries to play an incisive ball through, which didn't come off. He gets it back and finds Shaw. Casemiro doesn't get anything underneath that he needed to flick it on towards Dorgu. Bentancur knocks it away, and Spurs end up with a throw over on the right-hand touchline, and they will be making a change. They're going to go 3 at the back. Kevin Danso is coming on for Brennan Johnson.
Again, it's something we've seen in this competition already. When they're in this position with the lead, is to go to 3 at the back and then just tuck the wing backs in, sitting there with the 3 midfielders as well in front, and then just Solanke and Son as the attacking outlets.
Johnson leaves the field still being credited with the only goal of the night. And if it stays that way, it's one of the most famous evenings in Tottenham Hotspur history. 11 and a half to go of normal time. Danso on. He's playing on the right of 3 centre-halves. It's very much a back 5 now. 5-4-1. Will United be able to break it down in time? Yoro. Big ovation for Johnson as he makes his way past the Spurs fans away to our right. The play continues just in front of them with Lenny Yoro in possession for Manchester United. Mazraoui to Amat. Amat stopped the ball and then was doing some directing of the resources ahead of him before he fired it in. Cross that is headed away by Sarr and goes out for a Manchester United throw, level with the edge of the Spurs penalty area. Taken quickly. Back for the bleached blonde Garnacho. Work forward towards Yoro. Yoro's got Amat in space on his right. And plays it to him now. Amat cutting it back in. Fired inside the penalty area. Headed away by Van der Ven, whose extraordinary goal line clearance denied Højlund an equaliser. Casemiro. Back for Yoro again. Yoro will venture towards the edge of the penalty area. Finds Amat. Mazraoui. Good touch on the ball to get it away from Bissouma. Throw taken quickly by Mazraoui. Hooks inside the penalty area. And Van der Ven heads it away. Out as far as Maguire. Clearance from Spurs. It can't get out of their own half right now. They're still waiting to sit back and potentially punish Manchester United on the counter-attack. Here's Maguire. Maguire to Casemiro. Casemiro down towards Amat. A little bit more space for him this time. Taking on a doggy. Finding Mazraoui. Clipped inside the penalty area and headed away by Van der Ven again. Yoro seeing plenty of it at the moment. It's gone away from Dominic Solanke here. Right-footed cross. Good shape on that. Right through the 6-yard box. Nobody could get close to it though. Garnacho fields it. Plays it back. Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the penalty area. Back for Garnacho. Danger for Spurs. Danger that's thwarted by Bissouma's long clearance that hangs in the air before coming down to the left foot of Luke Shaw.
I mean, Tottenham are playing like there's 30 seconds left. Not 10 plus minutes. It's going to take some effort to hold off Manchester United, and wave after wave now. And you just wonder, Harry Maguire talked about it yesterday, that he didn't want to have to be called upon. But if you're going to get it wide and put crosses in the box, why wouldn't you have him in there?
Solanke trying to get away from Maguire. Now taking on Dorgu, poking him forward for Son. Brilliant sliding challenge on him by Mazraoui on the edge of the area where there was no room for error. And United will bring it away. That's the kind of opportunity the Spurs are now playing for in this 5-4-1. They know how potent they can be on the counter-attack. But here's Garnacho. Fernandes, too high for Xerxes, straight into the hands of Vicario, and there are only 8 minutes to go.
And there's a few tired bodies now. Maguire, Solanke after that run, incredible run, all on his own to play in Son. He's feeling his hamstrings. Son, he's just lacking that yard of pace nowadays, whether that's an injury that he's continuing to carry or age slightly catching up with him, but he just couldn't get away from Mazraoui.
Diogo Dalot's going to be coming on for Manchester United very shortly. Son playing it forward. Yoro heads that away. And now Harry Maguire waving Shaw forward to his left-hand side. Maguire venturing into Tottenham's half. Long diagonal from him, was looking for Amat, but it just looped up in the air. It was easy for a doggy. Spurs clear. Yoro might have let it run out of play for a throw so that his side could make the change. Elected instead to keep it in. Heads it down and works it via Maguire out towards Shaw. 7 to go now. Garnacho. 1-0 to Spurs here on Talksport, live from the San Mamés in Bilbao. Tottenham have led for 40 minutes. Can they hold on for about another 12 minutes of playing time? Maguire down towards Mazraoui again. As Dean said, they're playing like there's only 30 seconds left. With the change that they made, bringing Danso on for Johnson, they are inviting all this pressure off themselves. Now they want it back for Amat. And again, they'll commit bodies forward quickly on the counter-attack. Destiny Udogie with a couple of step-overs. Taking on Yoro. Xerxes comes back, defends it well. Well, referee says he's fouled him. And Zirkzee gets booked. He thought he'd won it cleanly.
I thought he had as well, but maybe just stepping across. He's kicked through the leg of Destiny Udogie to try and get the ball. Obviously stopping the counter-attack and receiving that yellow card. Maguire actually on that last attack, he kind of looked across towards Lenny Yoro and just said, make sure you cover me, and he went driving in towards the penalty area. Ahmad obviously was dispossessed, but Maguire taking that upon himself to realise he's not needed there and actually get himself in the box.
So Mazraoui off and Dalot on, and that's the next Manchester United change. So Ahmad asking for a little bit of clarification as to what changes. It's just a straight swap. Spurs giving United something to defend here with a set piece that Son stands over. United keeping a line 3 or 4 yards outside their own box. Second Spurs goal here. And that surely kills United off. Son swinging this in. Son trying to hook it back across the face of the 6-yard box, but only into the side netting. And it's gone out of play. It's a goal kick. United take it quickly. They need to use as many of the remaining seconds as they possibly can. They are fast running out of them. 5 to go. And Harry Maguire is now the leader of the line.
He is. And it wouldn't be long if you're going to get the ball wide and crosses into the box and they've got a back three in place, put him in there. He has the instinct. He's got the aggression in the way that he attacks the ball. He's already shown you in this competition he has.
Fernandes looking for him here with a free kick, which is headed forward, but the offside flag's up. Vicario made the save anyway. You're listening to Spurs against Man United in the Europa League final, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has all the vehicles your business needs with the flexibility to rent for minutes or months. And in the aftermath of that free kick being given for an offside, there was a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. I think Casemiro was involved in that. Then a Spurs player went down. But the dog is okay. He's back on his feet and he's going to be able to continue. So still 1-0. 3.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go. I think there's going to be a huge amount to be added. 4 minutes maybe. Spurs in 8 minutes time might be the Europa League champions. Here's Zirkzee coming forward inside the penalty area. Onto his left foot, tries to get a shot in. It's really well blocked by Basuma. Dalot near the corner of the box. Goes behind square for Ahmad. Yoro's the deepest of the outfield players now that Maguire's gone forward. Shaw laying it out towards the Manchester United left for Dorgu. High ball swung in. Maguire goes down, trying to steal a march on Van der Ven. Then an angry reaction from Romero, who waved Maguire disdainfully back to his feet. Then Zirkzee follows up, and he's already been booked. He's got to make sure that he keeps his temper in check here. And Zirkzee with an angry reaction towards both Romero and Van der Ven. And now realises that he's got to put pressure on Vicario so that Spurs are forced to get the ball upfield as quickly as possible. And that clearance straight onto the right foot of Son goes straight back into Tottenham's half. Then Maguire is in there and he's caught Romero. And it's beginning to boil over here. Plenty of frustration. And Maguire gets a yellow card for that foul.
As he should do. I mean, look, there's been that going on all game between Maguire and Romero. They should have stepped outside earlier and sorted things out. They haven't. It's continuing throughout the game. Maguire thinks that Romero's time wasting, and he is. And Ange has already told him and the other players to get up, stop wasting time, because it's just going to add to more of that in added time. I don't know why Zirkzee's getting involved either, especially being booked.
Some more changes imminent. We're going to see Kobbie Mainoo, and we're also going to see Jed Spence and Archie Gray. Romero now being helped back to his feet. So much reaction from Bilbao tonight on the Talksport YouTube channel, on the Talksport app, tomorrow morning on Talksport Breakfast as well, where Koisti, live in Bilbao, will talk you through the action, his take on the game, his take on, as things stand at the moment, Manchester United losing and Spurs winning their first European trophy for 41 years at the moment. So, changes. Sarr coming off, and Gray will come on to replace him. We're also going to see Jed Spence coming on. Still, the referee is trying to keep a lid on the simmering tension. Bentancur is having a few thoughts on what is going on. The doggy is coming off here, and Spence will come on to replace him. So Sarr and the doggy coming off, and Spence and Gray coming on, and Kobbie Mainoo waiting patiently in his red number 37 shirt, and he will come on for Patrick Dorgu. So those changes being made. By the time play restarts, we will be in stoppage time, and only stoppage time will be separating Spurs from glory.
I mean, every single substitution has had a defensive edge to it from Ange Postecoglou. It's been all about defending that lead, something we've very rarely seen from this Tottenham team, but they're capable of it, and they might do it.
I'm sorry, Dean. How many extra minutes are going to be added on? It's 7. Didn't see that coming. Son trying to win a corner. He's conceded a free kick. Or is it a throw? It is a throw. It's Dallow's going to take. 7 added minutes. But if Manchester United are going to keep their hopes alive, they're going to be doing it in stoppage time. And those 7 minutes are going to be elongated because the referee's coming over and is going to produce a yellow card to somebody on the Manchester United bench. I think it's Victor Lindelof, who at the moment is still an unused sub. He appears to be the one that's incurred the wrath of the officials. Angry reaction from him to the fourth, Maurizio Mariani, and he's booked for dissent. So it's probably 7 minutes from here. Spurs fans trying to sing their side home. Live on Talksport. Tottenham, a goal to the good. Shaw getting the ball forward towards Alejandro Garnacho. Garnacho down towards Dalot. Dalot to Ahmad. Ahmad. Zirkzee back again. Space for Dalot. It was a relatively simple ball. He didn't play it. It's deflected off a Spurs player and got to Dalot anyway. If you're a Spurs fan watching this, I think you'd feel that an equaliser might be inevitable. Maguire with a diving header, it's gone wide. If you're a Manchester United fan, you're watching this and you think there's no chance that they're going to equalise. It's one of those games. Your side is in that kind of form. It's been such a scrappy, lacklustre affair in so many ways, but the Tottenham game plan is now within 6 minutes of working.
It is. Maguire, of course, is going to cause problems if you play the ball in, but not really from that deep. Up against Kevin Danso, it's going to be difficult. But look, you're not going to score a magnificent goal at this point. It's about flooding that area and just hoping that someone can get the space, get a touch on it. It falls for you, but you've then got to take that opportunity.
Free kick goes Spurs' way. Son's foul. And continues to lie face down on the turf just for a moment. Dalot tells him to get up. Son will do so slowly. They're on the verge of a win, which will be their 98th in this competition. That would be a new competition record, eclipsing a long-standing mark held by Roma. They take the free kick with Spence. It was a really poor one. No attempt really at managing the situation and keeping possession, playing it down towards the corner flag. They've just knocked it straight back to United. You reckon about 4.5 to go here. 1-0 to Spurs. Ahmad coming off the right-hand touchline. Lays it back for Dalot behind him. Dalot to Yoro. Fernandes at the moment the deepest of United's outfield players, working it out towards Shaw. Maguire trying to make a run, get himself back on side. Ball inside the penalty area, looking for Xerxes, headed away. Comes out for Bruno Fernandes again. Clipped in by Fernandes. Straight back to him. And then volleyed. Sidewinder out towards Ahmad. Ahmad's left-footed ball. That's taking a deflection. Maguire going up for it. Really good defensive header. Got it away. It's outstanding defending that from Kevin Danso. Not the best piece of individual defending we've seen from Spurs tonight, but not too far short. Mickey van der Ven's goal line clearance, as unlikely as it was magnificent. Ball inside the penalty area from Yoro. That's headed away. Comes out for Bruno. Shaping to shoot 35 yards out. Checks back inside. Getting away from Gray. Finds Garnacho. He looks for Shaw. It's hit Gray and is cleared. United come again. Bruno again. Doesn't shoot. Garnacho. He can't either. Lenny Yoro might be able to, and he's fired it straight into the Tottenham fans. And when play restarts, we will be in the 6th minute of 7 added. Spurs 1, Manchester United 0. They are nearly there.
They are, but that's a gift from Yoro. You keep the pressure on. You do not give it away with a speculative effort from 25 yards when you're a centre-back. You don't. You recycle it wide. You get the ball in the box. You play the percentages when the clock is running down.
Vicario's clearance. Fernandes comes to the halfway line to meet it. Solanke battling. Mainu won it. Shaw goes back for his goalkeeper. Solanke's putting the pressure on him. But Onana can clear it past him and find Luke Shaw. 90 seconds to go. Probably 40 seconds to be added on top of that. Dallo heads it down towards the corner flag. Ahmad is there first. United running out of time, running out of options. High ball sent inside the penalty area. Might break Casemiro's way. Player goes down. Referee says no. Play on. No foul. Spurs whack it to safety. It's going to come straight back though. Onana for Bruno Fernandes. High ball fall from him, takes a deflection. He's headed the rebound on towards Yoro. We're in the 97th minute in Bilbao. Spurs nearly there. Dallo. Back it comes for Ahmad. Ahmad across the edge of the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes. To Dallo again. Dallo sending a high one, hanging in there. What a save from Vicario. Diving to his left-hand side. Who's Luke Shaw that met it. Powered a header towards goal. And Vicario tips it away. And Spurs have got one hand on the trophy. Now ball sent down towards Ahmad, who controls it. Lays it back for Dallo. Another high ball inside the penalty area looking for Shaw. Danso's cleared that. Bruno Fernandes chipping it in. Xerxes looking for it. That's knocked away. Back out towards Dallo. Dallo to the byline, wins a corner. And it's now or never for Manchester United. Here comes Onana. The 7 minutes are up. Probably another 30 seconds to go.
They're straining every sinew, this Tottenham defence. Vicario, outstanding save. Shaw with a powerful header. Dives to his left. Gets a big hand on it. Every single Tottenham player inside the box.
And the tension is palpable. The glory is tangible for Spurs. They can repel this corner. They have done it. Corner to be taken on the right-hand side by Ahmad. Hooked in. Heads go up for it's off a Tottenham head. Garnacho overhead kick. Side netting only. And it's going to be a goal kick to Spurs. And they are right on the verge now. That will just about be that. That hitting the side netting was greeted with a roar almost as big as the goal. Tottenham Hotspur, so close. And Vicario calmly walks the ball from one side of his 6-yard box to the other. Basuma went down for a moment and he was told to play through the pain barrier, get up, let's not procrastinate. Let's get this over with. Vicario takes it. It's glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. They have won their first major trophy for 17 years. The Europa League is theirs. One of the most famous victories in Tottenham's illustrious history. An end to the season so completely out of kilter with the rotten 9 months that have preceded it. But they have done it. They're in the Champions League. They've won a European trophy for the first time since 1984. Thanks to the combination of a scruffy goal, a sensational, outrageous goal line clearance, and one magnificent late save from Vicario. Manchester United will feel aggrieved. They'll feel that they've hardly turned up. But Ange told you, he always wins something in his second season. And he's done it. We haven't seen Ange ball for the last few weeks. He has modified the game plan. And he has brought success. Spurs might be finishing in the bottom 4 for the first time since the 1970s. But they've won in Europe for the first time since the 1980s. The tears belong to those swathed in red. Tears that delight all round us from the Tottenham contingent. This is their night. Spurs have defied the odds and they've beaten Manchester United by a golden hill to win the Europa League.
Crazy but true. Spurs will be in the Champions League next season. It's ridiculous. And they're used to El Clasico here in Spain. That was El Scrapico. But Spurs do not care. And the celebrations are going to be wild in Bilbao tonight. Vicario, the keeper, was mobbed at the end by all of the staff, all of the players. He's now celebrating with the fans. Brilliant save right at the end. Mickey van der Ven's acrobatic goal line clearance. Truly sensational. Wow. And a really scrappy goal settled it, but it doesn't matter. It's the goal of dreams for Tottenham Hotspur. The legendary Manchester United manager Sir Alex Ferguson, he was here tonight, and his words have come back to haunt him. Who's won the Europa League? Who's won a trophy? Lads, it's Tottenham, and they are celebrating it, and why not? And how are your nerves, Tottenham fans? Because that was attack versus defence for, what, a good half hour or more at the end of that game. But somehow they held out. Somehow, maybe because Man United just didn't have the quality, or maybe, let's give Ange Postecoglou the credit, he got his game plan absolutely bang on. And yes, as Jim says, he's gone and done it. He's won a trophy in his second season, but it might be 2 trophies in one day for him. His first and his last at Tottenham. Because by all accounts, that's going to be it. He's going to give him a big trophy. He's going to send him into the Champions League. And he's going to be off on his way. How crazy is football? Right now, these Spurs fans aren't even thinking about that. They're just loving every single moment. They've had to watch on for years while Arsenal randomly won FA Cups, while they challenged for the title. Well, now it's their time to celebrate. And I'll repeat what I said at the beginning of the night. Spurs have won a trophy. That's one more than Arsenal and Man City put together this season. And that's why this is going to mean so much more to Tottenham Hotspur. And get every dictionary out. Get them all out. And delete the word Spursy. It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. It's finished. The Spursy era is over. Dean Ashton. Incredible.
Absolutely unbelievable that Tottenham and Ange Postecoglou just threw their philosophy straight in the bin. Not an ounce of that performance was what we've come to expect from Tottenham. It was the total opposite. It was grit and determination and togetherness and defensive organisation. without a care about attacking, just protecting their goal and the importance of protecting your goal. Some incredible defensive performances from their back four and goalkeeper, but every single player put in an incredible shift to get over the line. I said months ago there was something oddly perverse about me wanting Ange Postecoglou to win this competition, because he'd said that he wins something in his second season at every club, and that he knew that would have brought headlines. And now he's going to get this opportunity. I can't wait to see what his reaction is going to be. He's done it. So managers have come before him and not been able to do it at this football club, and Ange has gone and done it, backed himself to do it, and he's just figured out that there's a way of winning that maybe doesn't leave yourself so open. Tonight is Spurs' night. Them supporters, they do deserve that after plenty of years of hurt.
Well, you called it at the start of the evening. You thought Spurs might have the edge because of the injuries, forcing them to play a different way. But Man United will have regrets. I'm looking at their players. They're standing there, hands on hips, staring. They can't believe it. Listen, Mickey van der Ven's clearance, we'll talk about that in a bit, but 5 minutes after that, Bruno headed wide, should have done better. 2 minutes after that, Garnacho forced a great save, Vicario. Brilliant save from Vicario at the end. Man United had chances and they had a lot of possession. They should have done better.
Yes, they should have done. I mean, it took them 70 minutes to really get going, didn't it? It took for the substitutions to be made, to give a little bit of life to the Manchester United attack. And after that, they were obviously dominant, and they did have their opportunities. A couple of good saves by Vicario and a couple of poor moments technically when in the penalty area, but simply not good enough on the night. And I think Ruben Amorim got it wrong, and he might have to admit it. I don't know whether he will, but I think he got it wrong with Bruno Fernandes being so deep and losing that midfield battle. And ultimately, they just eventually didn't have the answers to equalise.
Well, they didn't. Let's talk about Mickey van der Ven's clearance, because it hurt me just watching it. I've pulled both hamstrings just watching that. One question as a layman, why didn't he head it?
Because it was too far away from him to be able to dive and head it, and he would have then had to have headed it low to the ground. He did the right thing. It was just the most extraordinary piece of athleticism you're likely to see from a man that has struggled with injuries and probably knew that could cause an injury in the way that he's cleared it, but was going to do whatever it took to keep it out of his goal. Coylan thinks he's scored. I mean, it's just incredible to have seen him do that, and I'm sure there'll be moments where all his teammates give him a proper big hug for that.
He's got his trophy, but how's Harry Kane feeling right now?
I think he'll probably have a really strange feeling that he probably should be part of it, but I think he'll just be so happy for them, and he'll be so happy for his mate Heung-min Son, who's going to get to lift that trophy, and he talked about it yesterday in the press conference, and this is going to be his moment, and I'm sure he'll just be really pleased, Harry Kane, because he's got his own medal too.
Yeah, I know for a fact that one of Harry's dreams was to get a trophy, any trophy, and take it behind the bar of the pub around the corner from White Hart Lane and show it off to all the Spurs fans. It just wasn't meant to be for him. He's got his trophy, and Son's got his. He was pretty awful when he came on, Son. Pretty dreadful. But he's in tears right now, Heung-min Son. And he's a trophy winner with Tottenham Hotspur. There's not many in recent times can say that. Some real special moments out there. You know, the Spurs fans have got a song about Brennan Johnson scoring. It's actually about his dating life and his latest squeeze. Well, they're going to have to adapt the lyrics to make the song about how he squeezed one in at the near post in Bilbao. I'm going to give him the goal. Go on, let's give him the goal. And listen, it wasn't the greatest goal you'll ever see. It's not a goal of the season. It's Spurs' best goal of the season.
Of course it is. It's the one that'll be remembered for a very, very long time. And finals are so often like this, aren't they? That it's about that first goal, it's about heroic defending and great goalkeeping and just making sure you win. It does not matter how you play, it doesn't matter how you do it. It's making sure, as I said, you get the chance to plant those lips on the trophy and share that experience your teammates, the club, the fans. That's what it's all about.
Ange Postecoglou's smiling, applauding the fans. And I tell you what, I know some Australians over the years have been very smug. He's going to be the most smug Australian in the world, bar none, tonight. And actually, I'm on his side. I'm really genuinely on his side. I know he's been prickly with journalists, but I don't care about that. He said he was going to win a trophy in his second season. He's gone and done it. And I'm actually genuinely happy for the fella, because he's had a rough ride, I think. When you get called a clown and you win the Europa League the next day, he has basically told them all where to go.
Oh, he has. He has. And I think he should go right over the top. Absolutely unbearable. Go on, Ange. Properly give it back to everybody. Because he has taken a bit of stick. He's had some difficult interviews. He's been rude at times, I think, to a few journalists. But he's fought his way to this position. He's backed himself. And I think when you do that, there's got to be some respect there. There's got to be some respect for him being able to handle that and bring his team through and ultimately do something that many managers haven't been able to do. So I hope as he walks into the press conference later on, he gives us all at both barrels.
So far, and I say so far because you don't know what's coming up, he may well go full bore like you want him to. But what he's doing is he's going around applauding fans, he's shaking hands with everybody, he's smiling, he's happy. He's not making it all about him like Mourinho did sometimes at the end of finals. He's just genuinely soaking up the happiness, soaking up all of the love from the Spurs fans. And they're genuinely happy. You know, some clubs take it for granted these days with cups. Well, this is why we're all so happy as neutrals for Crystal Palace and for Newcastle. And now for Tottenham Hotspur, because it doesn't happen very often that these clubs win trophies. And you know what? Let's share the football love around. The fans all decked out in white. And by the way, they were the loudest tonight in this stadium by far, the Spurs fans. And they've been rewarded with that performance. But their nerves would have been shredded, because it was attack v defence, wasn't it?
Oh, it must have been horrible for them. Oh, truly horrible. Because you could see it so early on that they were not going to try and play. Every time the ball was loose, they just cleared it out of play, cleared it into the Manchester United half for them to start again. They must have thought, we don't want this. I don't think I can handle this. And they did. The players handled it for them. They dealt with it. They dealt with every cross that came in and was headed away. They dealt with keeping their shape and their discipline and their work ethic. And I think the Spurs fans, I'm sure, will thank them for that.
Ruben Amorim came in, late October, early November time. By now, he should have had a better game plan than he had tonight. He should know his players better than it looked like he knows them tonight. That was poor from the manager. The players weren't great either, but that was really poor from Ruben Amorim, wasn't it?
I thought so, and right from the start, and we even talked about it yesterday, about where would Fernandes play. And I thought he might play where he did, maybe with Ugarte rather than Casemiro, and I don't like that. I just think he's such a creative player. He's a player that needs freedom to get on the ball and get his head up and create for you, and you're playing him in a role where he's got to think defensively at times. He's receiving it too far from the opposition goal. I just think that's wrong, and ultimately he'll have to answer questions about that, and it took him a long time to react also. But Spurs have had their number in terms of playing against that system.
There were moments of quality for Tottenham Hotspur, and let's not forget players that were out. Kulusevski, who's here, he wasn't around yesterday, has come to Bilbao today. He's been on the pitch. Kulusevski is brilliant early season for them, but he's out injured. James Maddison is here, he's out injured as well. And Lucas Bergvall, who's been excellent as well, is here too. Not happy to be injured and out, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Ange Postecoglou during the game telling his players to get up when they went down, and he's now telling his players to go over and shake the hands of all the Manchester United players as well. Listen, you may not like him, he may be prickly, he may say things you really dislike, but there's a touch of class about him as well.
There is, and that's through your actions that I think you can show that, and that's what he's done. He was the first one over towards the Manchester United players, and then told Son to tell the rest of the players also to come across and show that respect, because it is always so crushing to lose a final. You're so flat afterwards. You don't really know what to do with yourself, if I'm honest. And I think it's just a nice touch to go over that bit of respect before, obviously, the trophy lift.
Well, this is going to be painful for a lot of people in the red half of North London. It's going to be painful for a lot of people in the red half of Manchester as well. But Tottenham Hotspur have won the Europa League 2025. We're all getting ready to lift the trophy, which is out there on a stand in the middle of the pitch. They've set up a temporary stage, and we've got that remarkable situation that a lot of us on Talksport never thought we'd see. The Spurs are going to actually lift a trophy. It's truly extraordinary. And Spursy has gone. You can't use that anymore. Spursy now is defending a 1-goal lead with half an hour to go and actually seeing the job through. I don't doubt that had they been up against the side with a bit more quality, they would have been broken down. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, I do. I think it was too long to play in that way, and they opened themselves up really for an opportunity for Manchester United. But me and Jim did the quarter-final and the semi-final, Jim, and it was like watching a carbon copy of Frankfurt. It's like he'd just seen that way of playing and knew that could get him to this position.
Absolutely. I mean, he's long been decried for not having an alternative, but he's been more than happy to say, listen, it's my way, mate, that's what we do. But he has found this alternative. He's stumbled across it. You could say it's taken far too long, but credit to him for being prepared to sacrifice his principles for what ultimately has become the greater good, to get Spurs over the line. Because I think that if Spurs had continued to play the way, you think back to that day when they played so high with 9 against Chelsea, and were absolutely massacred.
And he came out and said, it's what we do.
Yeah, it's what we do. Well, it doesn't have to be what you do, because you are actually allowed to think about it and come up with something different, and that is now what they have done. This is what they do, win trophies.
Absolutely. Maybe it's the start of a run, who knows? I still can't quite believe that Tottenham Hotspur are going to dispense with the services of a manager who has won a trophy for them, won the Europa League, got them into the Champions League. When you look at the Premier League table, yeah, it kind of makes sense, I guess. But in the context of what's happened here tonight, live on Talksport, to me it makes no sense whatsoever. But that's what people are saying is going to happen. Let's wait and see what happens. They've got one more Premier League game to come against Brighton, and then we'll know the outcome for Ange Postecoglou. But he's a trophy winner with Tottenham Hotspur, and there's not many managers who have been able to say that. Man United collecting their losers' medals. Spurs will be up next to lift the Europa League trophy. Here's Jim Proudfoot.
Well, at the back of the Manchester United line is Ruben Amorim. So much speculation about Ange's future, and there has to be even more now about Amorim's. He's now lost more games than he's won as Manchester United boss since he took over on November the 11th. The last Manchester United manager to lose more than he's won was Walter Krikma in 1932. That gives you the historical context of what has happened over this 24-25 season. He inherited a big problem, and he hasn't as yet been able to wave a magic wand. But this moment has been a long time in coming. 17 years without a major trophy, 41 without continental success, but those waits are over. And at the end now makes the night all the sweeter. An oasis in a real desert of a season with few parallels. Spurs have never lost more, but they've seldom, if ever, had a victory as significant as this. Back in the winner's circle, back in the Champions League. It's a big prize indeed. Ange is the first to get his medal, Vicario just behind him. Vicario allowing himself to kiss the trophy on the way past. Ange coming across and saluting the Spurs fans again. This is a night when the heroes in white have written their own indelible chapter in the club's history. Moments to be remembered and cherished. Because if the European wins of 63 and 72 are now a little hazy, that UEFA Cup success of 84 does remain vivid. Tony Parks diving to his right to deny Arne Gudjonsson, raising arms aloft to the edge of the area to be met by his jubilant teammates. Graham Roberts kissing the trophy before lifting it to an expectant White Hart Lane. Tonight's also going to be immortalised like that. The stories of Bilbao, the difficulties getting here, shared, passed down the generations. Is this going to be a night that will be seen as a significant turning point in the club's history? Is this Spurs back on the upward curve, the starting point of another journey back to being contenders? It is the night of anti-Ange ball, the recently unveiled Plan B. 3 shots, 1 on target, enough to win. The Postecoglou postscript, only time will tell. It seems likely, but he always wins something in his second year. And he hasn't let them down. Most of the Spurs players have made their way down the hastily assembled walkway and are taking their places now in what will be a famous celebration photograph. Standing right at the back of the line, only 3 ahead of him at the moment, is Son Heung-min, the Basuma, the latest to get his medal, Rodrigo Bentancur, now Christian Romero, and at the back of the line Son, who was embraced just after full time in floods of tears by James Maddison, and now gets his hands on the trophy. To dare is to do. This an unconventional success, but this is a Tottenham success. They say you only ever truly appreciate the good times when you've endured the bad. And now in front of a backdrop of years of trophyless frustration and months of anguish struggle in the league, Tottenham Hotspur fans have the moment they've craved. Son has lifted the trophy and Spurs have won the 2025 Europa League.
They have, as the glitter flies into the air, fired from the cannons on the pitch and falls onto the grass, onto the head and shoulders of those celebrating Tottenham players. There will be Spurs fans in this crowd who can't believe it. There will be Tottenham fans who have come over here by plane, by boats, by train and bus, just to see their heroes try once again to lift the trophy, and they've finally gone and done it. The reward for all that hard graft getting over here, absolutely worth it. The reward for the players' hard graft in the Europa League, absolutely worth it. As they dance around, draped in flags and banners, and these Spurs fans won't be leaving for some time yet. Man United players already down the tunnel with their losers' medals. Man United fans already out on the streets of Bilbao looking to drown their sorrows. These Bilbao celebrations will be going on and on and on. But what next for Tottenham Hotspur? Whether it's a new man or not, Dean Ashton, they've got some surgery to do on that squad.
Yes, they have. And I'm pretty sure they would have already been thinking about that and planning for that, not quite knowing what competitions they would be in after this game. And that will certainly look a lot brighter, won't it, tomorrow morning when they open their eyes and think about what they can now do in the summer. But surely you have to keep him. How can you get rid of a manager when he's won you a trophy? He's got you into Champions League football. He's shown you that he can adapt in the way that he's played. He's shown you that he's got the gumption to come out with a statement and back himself and deliver. He talked yesterday in the press conference about there still being a lot to be done and that he sees that he's the man to do it. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens. He's going to obviously very much enjoy this moment as he should do. And the ridicule we talked about before the game, there's none of that tonight for Tottenham. It's their time again to turn around to all of those that have ridiculed them this season and say, well, we were able to do it.
And they have done it. And they're celebrating hard with it as well. Meantime, we've got to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whether you're on holiday, at home or away this summer, Enterprise has locations all over Europe and a vehicle that's just right for you.
So, this is interesting. Who are you going for?
Oh, so many incredible defensive displays. But I'm sorry, the athleticism, how vital it was, how important he is to the way that this Tottenham team play. For me, it has to be Mickey van der Ven. Won every header, won every battle that he had, was calm and composed on the ball, and then the most outrageous clearance that's as good as a goal. Mickey van der Ven for me.
And I don't blame you either. And you'd say that over the course of the season, when he's been fit, absolutely vital to what Ange Postecoglou was trying to do. And his injuries have caused a problem for the manager, have caused a problem for Spurs. The crucial thing is, can you keep him fit when they play the way Ange wants them to play? But let's just reiterate, that goal line clearance, as good as a goal for Tottenham Hotspur.
Just ridiculous. He has no right to get his foot in the air in that manner to clear. That was pure desire. That's all that was. Competitive desire from Mickey van der Ven of what it meant to keep the ball out of the back of their net, to what it meant to win. It's the thing that's been lacking for Tottenham players and Tottenham as a club is that ridiculous desire to stop the opposition. And I've seen a slight change. Why would you want to now get rid of that? Why wouldn't you want to build on that with certainly Van der Ven and Romero at the heart of it?
It was a special goal line clearance. Mickey van der Ven, our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Making a big move or planning a clear out with vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, we've got a van.
Well, the celebration's going on. James Maddison has just lifted the trophy. Rada Dragusin about to lift it as well in front of the fans, who are loving every single second. Still a big smile on the face of Ange Postecoglou, who's watching the players celebrate. And what we've heard about, I was listening to the breakfast show this morning, and then an Aussie player who played under Ange Postecoglou on the show saying he doesn't have a great personal relationship, no big bond with the players, but what he does do is he lets them drive through the culture at the football club. So he empowers the players. It's worked, clearly.
Yes, it has. I mean, the reaction they had with him on the pitch, I think, is so important for you to see that connection between him and the players. You can see it in the performance that they wanted to work for him, they wanted to run for him, they wanted to execute the plan for him. And this will only enhance that, and you can build on it, you can build from it with Ange Postecoglou. And tonight he can have that moment, whether it is publicly or within himself, that real smug moment of achievement, and rightly so, he deserves it.
Incredible, isn't it? Dean Ashton, thank you very much. What a night to be here in Spain to witness this live on Talksport. Our Spurs are still on the pitch and the fans are still in the stands, and they're going to be there for some time, you better believe it. Manchester United were Bilbao Bobbins here tonight. Earlier this season, in a play on words on a Spurs great, Ozzy Ardiles, they started to call Ange Postecoglou Ozzy Idealist. It was harsh. Then they called him a clown. Very harsh. And now he's only gone and won a trophy at Spurs. Amazing. Later this summer, Tottenham will be challenging for what's called the UEFA Super Cup. Yes, Spurs and Super in the same sentence. It's actually going to happen. Tottenham currently fourth bottom in the Premier League. They'll be in the Champions League next season. Let that sink in. Sports Bar, next on Talksport, 03717 223344.